Hi guys, welcome to this video where I'm gonna give you a confidence boost. Hell yeah! I got cards for your strengths, I got cards for what you've overcome, I got cards of how other people see you, and the last cards I got for you is dreams not to give up on. So remember, this is a general reading, it's not your specific energy I'm tuning into, but yeah, so take what resonates, like most of it should. There's 4 piles here today. We got pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we got the timestamps in the information box below. Yeah, so if you haven't picked your pile yet, put the video on pause because I'm going to jump to pile number 1 now. Pile number 1. So you chose this cute little 8 of Cups. Look at that squid. Oh my god. I'm here to give you a confidence boost today. So we're going to get cards about your strengths, cards about what you overcome, and cards about how other people see you. And the last cards is about the dreams that you shouldn't give up on. 8 of Cups is representing walking away. That's what it talks about. So there might be kind of a new beginning here. Maybe you're kind of in a transition right now where you're, well, there's multiple steps to this. Either you're about to become, how do you say that? Maybe you're about to realize that you have to move on for something, let something go. Or maybe you did realize and you're starting the process, or maybe you have started the process, or maybe you're in the middle of it, or maybe you're like finishing it, right? So there's something here about, or maybe you just finished it, something here about walking away from something. And it can be a workplace, it could be moving homes, it can be relationships, it can be thought patterns, relationship patterns, a lot of things, right? So just if that resonates, that's probably your pile. Let's take a look at this is so cute. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? There's this little squid girl. She's so cute in the kindergarten, and the other fishes scare her, so she squirts ink, right? and she's like, "Oh my god, you guys, you made me ink." I love it so much. It's so adorable. So let's take a look at your strengths. Got anger. So a strength with this card is that you're, I feel like you're accepting your anger, you're releasing it, you're giving room and space for it. Like in the past, there might not have been room for your anger. This is a very normal thing. Like anger is one of the most taboo feelings. And when we grow up, especially us here in the Western world, I think, and also I think in the Asian parts of the world, these emotions are not allowed, right? Either like go to your room to be a good girl, a boy again, or maybe your parents is just ignoring you when you're angry, or maybe they're telling you off for being angry, or you, dude, you need to relax, something like that. Like it's not being met, it's being made into a bad thing, so we suppress it, right? So your strength here is letting your anger out and being like, I don't want to be suppressed anymore. If I'm angry, I'm angry. And if you can't deal with that, that's your problem. And there's lots of ways to be angry. It's not like, it's not okay to throw things at people, of course, or hit other people, or like have a go at them and just tear them down emotionally. Of course not. But the thing is, like, if you're angry and in your own space, meaning like there can be other people around, but meaning in your own energetic space, like you're stomping the ground or leaving the room, like barging out, or just like, oh, fidget, blah, 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 you know, outburst of something within your own space, not towards anybody. That's a different kind of anger, right? Because when it's towards other people, like to put them down or destroy them, that's not okay. But the anger of, you know, you overstep my border here, my line, my how do you say that in English? You overstepped it here, right? And I don't appreciate that. I'm gonna go take a walk because my temper right now is through the roof, but I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about this, right? Something like that. You go out and be angry, and you're accepting your anger because you were never taught to do that, so you did that yourself, is kind of what I'm feeling. So you can be angry and you can let it out, and in a healthy way, I think. Very cool, by the way. There's a lot of people struggling with this. We got Messenger of Earth. Oh, I love this. This is the Page of Pentacles. Pages are a very student kind of energy, and the Pentacles is, for me, very thorough because it's the slowest moving energy in the tarot, and they're so like grounded. They want to pick up every rock to look at it, and every sides and angles, and oh, what can this rock do, right? What makes this rock different from this rock? So it's a strength of yours is that you're very thorough and you're very curious about things in a healthy way, and you want to understand like the whole picture of something, right? You want to understand like to the detail, because you want to understand it right. You don't just want to like have an opinion about something just because, or because someone else has it. You want to know why you should have an opinion, if that is your opinion or if you have another opinion. Like, it's really deep and analytical, I think. Overturning every stone, like in life in general, also, like, that's how you love to live. I feel that you want everything out of life. You want to try it all, and even though you are a person who believes in reincarnation and that we come here more than once, you're still like, this is, I only have one life as this person, so I want to experience everything I can as this person, right? I really love that. It's a very scholar energy, a very like educational on life, not in school, but in life kind of energy, right? Being curious about something. You might even have one subject, right, that you really, really like and you just dig deeper into. And that could make you a good teacher as well, teaching other people about something because you're so thorough. Another strength is the swans. You got, that's the star? I don't know this one. So I just had to check the book because I'm not, like, Lenormand is okay, but it's not the one that speaks most to me, but I like the difference. Yeah, whatever. So this is the mask, and the book says, look deep into your soul, for whose amusement do you play? Right? I balance the contradictions and encompass the opposites. I project your emotions or hide them. When I land to your right, yeah, okay, so there's something bad. But meaning that one of your strengths is kind of seeing through people, I feel. And yeah, I feel like you're helping people to release their masks. Because you kind of released yours. I think also with the anger here, that when you tapped into your anger and you started accepting that emotion inside of you instead of suppressing it, you dropped the mask. And I think that kind of opened up to accepting other parts of you, and that snowball just got started, right? So there's something here about because you see yourself so clearly, I feel, and because you overturn every stone, you see other people very clearly, and you see things about them that they don't even see themselves. So the stars well, the star talks about like wish fulfillment and going for what you want, right? I kind of see, because we got all the zodiacs here. So that again to me just tells me that you are incorporating every part of yourself. Like if each zodiac, they represent something different, right? I don't know much about astrology, but for example, I know Scorpio is representing like going really deep into the root and into the things that really hurt, like really, really deep, right? Aquarius represents being kind of an odd one out, thinking like no one else, thinking out of the box, very innovative. The Taurus is about relaxing and enjoying, like the meadow you're walking on, the sunshine on your face, stuff like that, like going real slow pace, right? So there's different descriptions of the different zodiacs, and that's kind of the different descriptions of the different kinds of yourself, right? Your the parts inside of you, that sometimes you are going deep to heal like the Scorpio, and other times you're very inventive like the Aquarius, and other times again you're like the Taurus, just want to enjoy life and be here and be present and not be in the head so much, stuff like that, right? And the last card here is the heart. The heart representing that you are a very deep person. I think you connect with other people on a very deep level, and that makes sense so much with the other cards that we got here. I think when you started connecting with your own emotions and accepting those like one after one after one, right? One step at a time here, first anger, then other emotions. Then you opened up to being more accepting of other people as well. And again, helping them with realizing which mask they have to throw off, right? And I think sometimes, like this is strengths, but one of your weaknesses, I just have to throw that in there, is that you are, because you see people where they might not see themselves, you kind of become a fixer, right? There's something here about fixing people's, like, you want to help them so much to find themselves that you're kind of like, I see something in you that you don't see, I want to pull it out. And that can be kind of sometimes that can become a kind of a manipulative energy, like I want to do this for you, kind of I want to fix you, you know what I mean? So it's not, you're not necessarily aware of it. There might be some patterns from your childhood, like if you are the fixer kind of person, this might be a thing you do, and you just be aware of that. But definitely strengths are, and I see here, I'm being drawn to the Eight of Cups as well. One of the strengths is also just walking away when you feel like, okay, I've overturned every stone in this workplace or relationship or home or wherever you are, and I there's nothing more for me here. I'm leaving now. And then you're leaving. You're not staying. You're leaving. And the good thing about that is because you overturned every stone, there's no doubts left, right? You got everything. You checked everything. There is nothing here. There's no doubts. There's no like, oh, should have I done that? Or maybe I shouldn't and I ruined everything. No, because you checked, right? You checked everything. You gave it more than enough, and more than a lot of people would have done, because you're stretching yourself a lot, sometimes too much. But I think here with the star, with going for what you want in life and what your wishes are, it's a good thing. Like, what do I want? How can I get there? Right? And if you don't know, like if you're, I don't really know how to get there, or it's too much energy, or it's too much work, then you realize then that's not where I really want to go, because you have that forward moving energy of, if there's something you really want to do or something you really want in life, you're going to make it happen, right? No matter the cost, no matter how long it's going to take, you're going to make it happen because that's what you really want. So there's this drive here. And with the heart again, with these deep emotions and deep relationships, that can be very hard. And that's the thing, when we start to get to know ourselves and accept ourselves and give space to ourselves, right? Give space to our anger and other emotions and letting them be, accepting them. We become a deeper person, but then we also need people in our life that are deep people, right? Deep, deep persons. And so when we grow, that's the thing, when the more you get to know yourself, the more you grow, and the more you're not compatible with what used to be. So that's again with the Eight of Cups. There might have been a lot of relationships, a lot of jobs, a lot of homes that you moved away from during your lifetime, because you realize there's nothing more for me here. I can't stay. If I stay, I break, right? And because you continuously grow, things change in your life, and people come and go, and workplaces and stuff like that, right? So it can be some kind of it might seem from the outside like a chaotic life, because there's a lot, like you're changing all the time, but you're not, because you got the calm within you, because you're overturning every stone, right? You know, there's nothing more for me here. I need deeper relationships. I came to a deeper place inside of myself. I need deeper relationship, and you keep continuing doing that, right? So there's nothing wrong with I experienced this myself recently. the past year. I've been working a lot on my relationships, and in general I've done that a couple of years, but the past year it's been very rough, especially with my mom. So I'm currently going through a transition and a progress where I'm letting my mom go, because we have a very codependent relationship where I was always the emotional adult, right? I was the parent emotionally, and giving her space, and there wasn't really room for me and my emotions, and I was really just there. And so there's a lot of things here, and it's still current, well, as a when I'm a grown up, because my mom is very scared of conflict, and she has low self-esteem, and there's a lot of wonderful things about her, but I have to, like, there's no room for me in this relationship, right? And I only have this relationship for her sake. Because I don't want to take away her daughter, but by doing that, I'm overstepping my own boundary. I'm not listening to myself. I'm not accepting how I really feel and what I really need. And what I've been through the last year here is kind of, I felt bad, right? I think you know this feeling when you work on yourself and you start to understand the psychological things of why you do what you do and why you say what you say, and this is why you understand why people do what they do and people say what they say, and you can come towards them with a compassion and embrace them and say, I understand that you're angry, and you can be angry with me because I can see that it doesn't have anything to do with me. I see the wound inside of you that this anger is coming from, as an example, right? What was the point with this? Yeah, so you become so understanding because you suddenly you understand what's going on, and you embrace other people, and then sometimes forget yourself, maybe a lot of times, especially if you're the fixer, right? And I grew up as a fixer. I grew up as the emotional adult, right? So I'm the fixer in a relationship with me and my mom, and that correlates to every relationship I've ever had, that I'm the fixer, and I'm creating room for other people, but they're not creating room for me, right? Space for me. So the thing I was working on this past year is I was kind of, you know, that feeling of, because I know more, I should give more space, because I know my mom don't do well with conflict, and she's has low self-esteem. So I'm not gonna bring this up because that's gonna make her sad, even though I need to talk about it, right? That's going to make her sad, so I'm not going to bring it up. And either way, she's just going to turn it inward, and I'm not going to get any answers anyhow. So I thought that to be a good person, I had to accommodate other people's weaknesses like that, right? And say, okay, because I know more, and because I work so much on myself, I should be the bigger person and say, I accept you for who you are and your struggles, and I'm just going to give you space. And by that, I didn't accept myself, right? I didn't love myself. That's not a self-loving action to do, to say I'm sacrificing myself and what I really need in a relationship because you can't give it to me, and I understand why you can't give it to me. Instead, the answer is, I need to walk away from this because this is not a match. And I think that sometimes it's hard for us with our parents and old friends, and if you maybe you're married with kids, right? You can't walk away. You feel like you owe them something, but you don't. And that's what I just realized, that I don't have to, just because I understand better doesn't mean that I have to accommodate. That means that I need other people who also understand themselves and what's going on around them. That's what's a match for me. And if I continue to be in this relationship where I know a lot and they don't, like, I take responsibility for my own wounds and my own emotions and what's going on inside of me, and they're not doing that. They're running from themselves, right? That's an unbalanced relationship, and they're gonna drag me down, because I always have to get down to their level, because that's the only way we can communicate, because they're not involved enough to get up to my level. Not that I'm better than them, but you understand what I mean. So yeah, we have to realize, so maybe that's you too, right? This story of giving so much of yourself, accommodating other people, making space for them because you know better, right? Because you understand. But by doing that, you're overstepping your own boundary. And so you need to walk away from that. You need those relationships that are just as deep as you are, and that might feel like something that's hard to come by. But there's a lot of people in the world doing self-development and getting to know themselves better and better, right? So they are definitely out there. Okay, so that's your strengths. That took more than I thought it would. A longer time. Anyhow, what you overcome. Let's see here. We got some cards. You've overcome. Wow, inner child wounds. That makes so much sense with what we said here. Intelligent. Oh, playful. Again with the inner child. Thoughtful. And loud. Yeah. So these are shadows, right? Things that we suppress because there isn't room for it. So something like loud is just a wonderful shadow because it's kind of like, oh no, you're too loud and you're laughing too much, you have too many opinions, you're taking up too much space, yada yada yada. And you realize, you know what, I'm not taking up too much space. You're taking up too little space, and that's why I seem loud to you, because I'm just being me. I laugh when I feel something is funny. I'm angry if something is overstepping my boundary. I can be intelligent. Like this card, for example, makes me think about beautiful women or pretty women or sexy women that usually you can't. It's depicted in society that you can't be pretty and intelligent, right? So if you work in a workspace office, like say let's say you're a lawyer, you have to dress like the men to be taken seriously. You can't have no cleavage, some and stuff like that, right? Because you can't be taken seriously then. So there's something here about you realizing, overcoming these wounds with your inner child, with your childhood, right? That it's okay to you overcome that. You can be playful like me. Maybe you were the emotional adult and you have to take care of your parents emotionally, making room for them, right? And that makes no room for you being a child because you have to take care of yourself emotionally because your parents aren't doing it, right? And you have to take care of your parents. So that's a lot of work. So you realize that there's a blockage there. I need to be playful, and you remove that, and you remove the blockage of being intelligent and had a lot of ideas. Maybe you're like, I get some kind of popcorn brain sometimes, like pop 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 pop, right? When popcorns pop. And I call it a popcorn brain because there's a lot of ideas coming in like in a small amount of time, and I write them all down. And you might have that kind of a brain being like, bing, like a light shows up, right? Oh, that's a great idea. And to other people, it might have been like, if maybe, let's say you were a child and when you get a popcorn brain and you tell your parents about, I got this idea, I got this idea, I got this idea, and they're like, shh, shh, you're too loud, you're taking up too much space, I can't really shut that down, right? And then you become thoughtful, and your parents are like, you're brooding too much, you're thinking too much about things, you're shutting yourself in. So you can't be loud and you can't be quiet, and it's like you can't do nothing right? You're too analytical, you're thinking too much about things, right? You should go out and play, but you can't go out and play because you're the adult. It's just, man, that's just, yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. So if you overcome a lot of things here, I feel like, and really stepping into your light and who you are and who you want to be, and just saying, you know what, fuck this. I can't please. The usual saying is you can't please everybody, and I just feel like you just had that feeling of I can't please anybody. So fuck this, right? I can't even I'm leaving. I'm just doing me. That's so great. Okay. That didn't take long compared to the beginning. So, how do others see you? Just a second. Okay, I had to turn off the light there because they're making me a little icky. I'm very sensitive in my body, and I thought it would look good, but I think I will get my electric lights out for the next pile. So, how other people see you? Golden orb spider, messenger, balance, awareness, and design. So creating things with the popcorn brain again, right? Creating a web. Yeah, and having like, I see that the legs, that's a funny thing because we got the octopus as well with a lot of legs. The legs like, okay, so we're working on an idea over here and simultaneously idea over here and we're working on this. You're very good at multitasking, or you're very good at jumping from project to project, right? I'm a person like right now I have 3 paintings going on. I got like, this is a project, this video. I got another project of creating my own Oracle decks. I got 3 decks going on, and like there's a lot of things. And I'm like, so I'm finishing this video, but there is one of the paintings I'm still painting on. It started a year ago, but I'm gonna finish it. I know that. So there's this being like jumping from project to project and feeling like I feel like this is what I want to do right now. That's where the energy is. That's where I'm gonna go, right? Very cool. So I think other people see you as someone who juggles very well and someone who creates very well. Maybe you make content like this. For me is content, right? And some people think that's good. It's good content, and so they think I'm a great creator, right? Something like that. Reflective. Yeah, and I love that because we had the thoughtful, right? Just gonna pick that up again. So people see you as this thoughtful person reflecting, looking inwards, and they see you as a person who know themselves very well. And I feel like they really respect that and admire that. Bound. That's interesting. Attitude. Authentic. Yeah. Victim. Okay, just a second. So definitely the attitude is from, saying, fuck this shit, I can't please anyone anyway, so I'm just gonna be me. And people see that some people see it as a good thing, like really that's so cool that you can do that. Other people see it as like you're disrespectful. Let's say you are saying like me, I'm walking away from my mom, right? Other people might see that as disrespectful because she's my mom. I have to have a relationship with her, and she's raised me and blah blah blah. Everything she's giving me throughout life. Look, totally disregarding of the wounds that I have and stuff like that, right? That she's given me also. So I'm not saying no one's perfect, but there might be people having an opinion about you being just selfish for what you're doing, and that's a shitty attitude. And other people are like, wow, you're so cool for just being you, right? And authentic, I really love that. That's 100% positive, that people see that you're reflecting and you're creating your own life and what you really want in life. Again, that thing of going the SAR, right? Going for what you want. This is what I really want. How can I get there, right? What's the obstacles in the way? This obstacle, this obstacle, this obstacle. How can I remove it? How can I make it work at my benefit? So being very authentic, because you're listening to your emotions and because you're true to who you are, right? To the degree that like, because it's a healing process all through life. There's always going to be more things to uncover, right? But you're very far, and I don't think we ever finish. But I'm just saying that you're further along on this healing path that most people are, and that sometimes can be difficult because you know yourself so well. And again, it can be hard to find other people that resonates with that, right? That swan caught with the heart. Okay, I was thinking about this victim card. It didn't make sense, but it does because when we put it with the attitude. So the people who see the attitude card as negative is the people who will also see you as someone playing the victim. So let's say again, with the example with me and my mom, some people would see me as someone saying, okay, you're totally overdoing it, Elizabeth. Maybe you should just take a chill pill and not be so strict. And like, you're an adult now and you should like, whatever. Like it's so bad for you. Like, you had it good, right? Your mom is a good woman and she's kind and she fed you and she clothed you, and yeah, that's fine. But she also had no time for me. She also had no energy for me. She used that time and energy on her boyfriends, whereas she didn't incorporate me. I was just there, right? She's never made an effort to make any of her boyfriends friends with me so we could create a family. She just wanted a boyfriend and I was just there, right? Stuff like that. That doesn't make her a bad person. She's just emotionally immature. And at one point in my life, she became she got into a relationship with a narcissist and they moved in together for I think 4 years, and I was stuck in that home, and my PTSD is from that guy, right? So there's a lot of wounds inside of me because of her not taking responsibility for what's going on inside of her, and the actions that had consequences for me. I couldn't just go. I was a child. I had no like, and I didn't have any dad. I didn't have anywhere to go. So yeah, that's a lot of wounds. And to me, that I just need to. She hasn't grown as an adult either. So we're not a match anymore. I need to take care of me, and I do that by not parenting her anymore. I need to leave this, right? And so to other people, there might be something like, "Oh, you're ungrateful and you're blah blah blah," and you're just being victim, blah, 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 get a grip kind of energy. Um, and I'm not, then the positive attitude comes out. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I can't please anybody anyway. So, with the bound card, people see us bound. Okay, wow, that's really interesting. I never thought I would see the card that way. So people see you as bound because you know yourself so well. And again, with the turning over every stone makes you, when you do have an opinion, it's a very firm opinion. And you got all these, how do you say that in English? Like if people are challenging your opinion, you got examples for why you have that opinion. You have an answer for everything because you overturned every stone. You're still open to changing the opinion, but like you already overturned every stone, so it's probably not going to happen. And that's why people see you as bound, because if they have an opinion about something and you challenge them because you have a different opinion and you see that they see things, they didn't overturn every stone. There's something here that they are not seeing that they're creating their opinion about. They see you again with the attitude like you're being provocative and just, but in reality, you're not. You're just challenging people. I think that's a good thing to challenge other people, but I think you might want to choose your battles with care, right? I think you're challenging people that are not ready to be challenged because you want deeper, you want to kind of push people into finding themselves and releasing their masks and stuff like that. And again, that's kind of a manipulative energy that you're not realizing you have. Again, with the weakness, I'm sorry, I'm here to talk you up and give you confidence, but it's good to know what we have with us, right? But it's a good thing, but you need to find equals, right? You need to leave those behind where you just accept that's what they think, that's their opinion, that's not your opinion, you're not here to change them. If anybody wants to change, they're going to come to you because they can see that you're good at releasing masks, right? So other people might see you as bound because you are so standing so strong on your opinions. Very interesting. So last card is dreams to believe in and not give up on. That's just one card. Prosperity. Wow, that's great. So you might have grown up in a childhood home with no money, with poverty. Just a second. Oops. Is that? Being the perfectionist. Yeah, so the dream is you're going to get, like, there's this abundance. It's not necessarily just money. It's just abundance. It's those relationships that is as deep as you are, right? Those people, you're going to find them and you're going to create relationships. Don't give up on the dream of everything you really want. And you are a fighter and you are a person who's like, no matter what you encounter, you get through it. And also the very, very, I'm not saying that you haven't been through hard times, because I think you really have. And that's what molded you, and that's what gave you that attitude of fuck this shit. If I can't do anything right anyways, then I'm just gonna be me. And I feel like this is the right path you are on going forward. And sometimes it's so difficult because when we're in that moving process, like you're moving very fast, especially when you're unlocking something big, a big wound, right? It's like that. You're progression in your self development and your healing process is very fast when you find your keys. And I feel, and when we do that very fast, we are not going to be a fit to the old workplace, or a fit to the old friends, or a fit to the old home and stuff like that. You need to leave, right? There's somewhere new, and that can be a tough life, because again, with the changing all the time. But there's also, so it's tough when you need to leave something, but you don't know where to go. And as soon as you found the place you need to go, then it's easy as pie, easy as peas. It's easy as, like, yeah, of course I had to leave this. And I couldn't find this new thing before I left this, right? I always kind of use the analogy of, you can't fit a new sofa into your living room when the old sofa is still there, right? So you need to get rid of the old sofa first, and then find the new sofa and move it in. And that's kind of thing, like, you can't put any more stuff into a cramped home. You need to clean out first what isn't working, right? And I feel like, yeah, maybe sometimes you have this feeling of, what is it all for? And all the struggles you've been through and stuff like that. I'm not saying victim mentality. I don't feel that, but maybe sometimes, but that's okay as long as you don't get stuck in it. But I don't think you can. I feel like your energy can never stand still, actually. I feel like even though you feel stuck, there's so much going on underneath the surface. You have a very fast moving energy. And even though, like, sometimes, like with glaciers, I like that metaphor. Glaciers stand still, right? But underneath the glacier, there's a current always moving. And at one point, the glacier breaks off. And just this big, huge piece of glacier just glides into the ocean, right? It's kind of how you are working in your healing path, that you're on the underlying current, like you're always working on something. It might not feel like you're going anywhere because the glacier is still there, but then there's that key you find. You're working up to something with the stream going on underneath. You don't feel the progress in the physical world, like you're not seeing it around you, and you're kind of still feeling stuck in your ways or your patterns, or why am I going back to this? Because there's a lesson here. There's something you need to add to the stream underneath, right? And then there's that last thing, like kind of like a jar, right? When we have like, oh, I can't open this jar, give it to another person, can't open this jar, give it to a third person, can't open this. And we go around, and like the sixth, seventh person opens the jar, because all these six other people did a little twist that made it easier. That's the same thing about this glacier thing, that everything, like, it seems like it's not moving, it's not getting unstuck, but everything you do is a stepping stone. It's a way to get there. If you just, after the third try, put the glass down, the jar down, it's not ever gonna get open. You can't do that. You're not that kind of person. You can't stand still like that. So that's not gonna happen. But still, you need to know when you feel like you're stuck, things are still going on, and you have that glacier moving thing when in your self-development and healing process. And that's why when the glacier breaks free, you're fast like that, because you've been building up to it. So don't ever give up on prosperity, like the right partner, the right home, the right job, whatever it is that you really wish for here in life. Healing, physical or emotionally or whatever, it's don't ever give up on it, because you got so much drive, you got so much go in you, right? Yeah, and you are an ever-changing person, and that's a really great thing. It can be hard, but I think it's harder to be stuck, right? It's harder to be, and you see that in the people that's not in your life anymore, when you kind of maybe meet them and catch up with them, and you see that they're still in the same place as when you left them, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I left you, because this is definitely not a match. Like, if we were still in some kind of relationship or bond or anything, that maybe I wouldn't have developed to where I am now, because that would have held me back, right? Yeah. So pile one, that's a great reading, I think, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you felt heard. I hope I gave you confidence. If this reading resonated, please give the video a thumbs up. And again, thanks to everybody who donates. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Take care. Bye. Pile number 2. You chose the Ace of Coins. So I'm here to give you a confidence boost. And I like this because Aces is about new beginnings. And I feel like something raining from the sky, right? Falling from the sky. And we got the hammer and the axe showing that you're a hard worker and you're going for that coin, you're going for what you want. There's a lion on it, so something about courage and bravery and strength. And I think with the mountain as well, being able to climb mountains, right? Metaphorically. So it's going to be an interesting reading, I think. Very strong energy I'm feeling here. So first off, we're going to get some cards on your strengths. Then we're going to get some cards of what you've already overcome. And then how other people see you. And then final card is the dreams you shouldn't give up on. So let's see, we got a lot of cards here on your strengths. Actually, a lot of cards. We got coming together. Love abounds. Sadness and isolation. Interesting. Got master. Ten of air. That's usually 10 of swords. Let's put this over here, actually. We got strong. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. This is kind of how I feel from this card as well, actually. So that's strength, right? So this is depicted as physical strength, but like I'm feeling like emotional strength, right? The key, I think this is. Yeah, I just have to get the book. But it is the key, and it says in the book, discoveries and solutions are my forte. You will find me in the synchronicity, signs, and fate. When I land close to you, know that you have the means, blah, blah, whatever. But the discovery and solutions are my forte, right? So solutions I'm feeling here with the overcoming obstacles being the mountains, and you have the tools for it. And I think again with the key, like, so the cage is representing an obstacle and the key is representing getting a solution, right? And I feel like here that we got 3 cards with hearts, right? You're approaching things with a love mindset. And it's kind of interesting because this deck here, right, 10 of Swords usually is someone depicted as stabbed in the back, and in this deck it's a positive deck, but throughout the deck, but that it's feathers, right? It's and she's looking towards the sky, and she's kind of having her arms out, saying whatever may fall in my way, like falling from the sky again here, right? I take that, I accept that, I take the challenges, right? And I climb the mountain, and I so you climb one mountain and you get an axe. You climb another mountain, you get a hammer. You climb a third mountain, you get another tool, right? So it's kind of like the way you're looking at life. Your strength is seeing obstacles as something positive, actually, as something that is rewarding, that gives you something. And I feel like you didn't want a life if there was no obstacles. That would be what's the point, right? Kind of. Sadness and oh wow. So yeah, so not so much this, maybe isolation could be your strength, but I'm more attracted to the imagery here. So this is when we meet an obstacle, most people just maybe your first reaction is to crumble like this guy, but soon enough you will rise, right? You will flip the situation and find the light, find the positive, find the growth in this situation. I feel like with the coming together that you're a very good mediator. How do you say that? Like someone who, if 2 people are having an argument and they can't see eye to eye, you are very good at being that third person saying, well, this person here is saying, this is what they mean when they say this, and this person here, this is what they mean when they say this. And actually you agree on something, you're just saying it the two different ways, and by that you think that you don't agree, right? So you're really good at mediating, I think it's called. I think you're very good at mastering your own feelings, and kind of like, I like this card because I know it seems like, oh, so the heart is locked away, but it's not, it's not hidden, right? It's behind these bars, so nobody can just come and grab it. It's still shown. You're still showing the love. You're still giving the love to the world. We see this emanating light, right? But you're keeping it safe. So I feel you're very good at emotions, understanding your own emotions, embracing your own emotions, creating space for your own emotion and yourself in general, and therefore you're good at it with other people as well. And you're good at showing your heart but still keeping it safe, right? In general, you're just really strong-minded, and like mentally and emotionally strong, I think, and very intelligent, I'm feeling here. And there's nothing so bad that isn't good for something. Like, you can turn every situation, you can flip every situation. That doesn't mean that you're not sad or angry or have those kind of emotions. You do, and you allow yourself to have that and go through that, and then you say, okay, what's the lesson or what's the gift in this situation? You can always, your strength is flipping things, right, to the advantage, to find the light, to find the, what's the good in this. There must be something good here. What is it? How can I find it? How can I grow? How can I grow even stronger? And I think that's why you are so strong, because your way at looking at life is so far from victim mentality that is possible. Yeah, you're just walking around with keys, really. There's this thing called a key life. A key life is kind of when you come down to earth with like a bundle of keys, right? So it's a symbolic meaning that you have a bundle of keys, and your life is about, the meaning of your life is about finding the doors where these keys unlock, right? So let's say maybe a normal person has like 3 keys for their life, and you have maybe 100, right? You're not going to find 100 doors to unlock, but you're going to find a lot more than 3. And I think that this, when you have a key life, you can't stand still. You can't, like, you have to progress. You have to find solutions. You have to, because your soul knows that we are here for a reason, and we're here to grow, and we got like a ton of keys, lots to do, right? We can't sit around sulk all day, eating chips and ice cream. Like, that's okay, but like, we can't keep doing it. We need to move, right? So yeah, that's your strength, really turning like this everything around, and you can find the bliss in the smallest things, I feel. And you're very good at giving sunshine to other people's life also. Yeah, and the good mediator. I really love that. That's cool. That's cool strengths. I think you would be a great therapist, or maybe someone working with children, or young people having a difficult time. Maybe. Definitely working with people would be great. I'm just gonna need some water here. So let's look at what you overcome. We got, let's do this one. Secretive. You overcome sexuality. So this is blockages. Self-love, procrastination, and patience, and secretive. So there has been a blockage of that sexual energy. That could either be you didn't, like, in the past you weren't comfortable with being sexy, or let's say you were a woman, you weren't comfortable with showing off your feminine features, or if you're a man, you weren't comfortable with showing you were strong, because that may, like, some people say that's toxic masculinity and blah blah blah. And you totally or it could be sex in general. Actually, it's not so much being sexual or sexual attractive, but sex in general, that in the past there might have been a blockage with sex, because sex is so. I think when you're such a loving person as you are, sex to you is very combining. It's two people coming together. It's not just genitals playing a game here. it's coming together, and until you kind of reach a certain age and maturity, it's like it's so much. When you're younger, it's so much more physical. When you get older and more mature, there's so much more emotion and spirituality kind of involved in sex, right? It's not just the physical. And I think you overcame that blockage because you've always been that kind of person that when you have sex, it's so intimate in the emotional and spiritual way as well as physical. And the partners that you have earlier on in life were not, they couldn't do that. So they couldn't meet you where you needed to be met sexually. And so there was a blockage there, right? Until you got older and more mature and matched up with someone who was the same place as you were sexually and needed the same thing. And that releases a blockage. Self-love is kind of self-explanatory that there was a blockage there. And that can be again later in life, because self-love is not it's not a final destination. It's every day we have to work on it and keep up. And when we're doing healing, periods of healing, we can sometimes get low self-esteem and low self-love because we run into our old patterns again, because we're healing a deeper level of the same wounds that we healed before, and some of the same things that come back, But I feel like you're, again, with this kind of embracing, right, as we saw the Ten of Swords, keeping your arms out and watching for whatever is falling from the sky, right, and accepting that. I feel like you stop controlling, actually, is what I feel. Stop controlling how you wanted other people to see you, or worried how they saw you, and controlling of how you want to live your life and what you want in your life, and just like you kind of stopped chasing your own tail is what I'm hearing. And I got with the secretive as well, that I think that a way for you that you got energy and love and affection earlier in your life was to be secretive. If you're the secretive person, people are interested in you, right? And you kind of came that, you found out that I don't want to be secretive. I want to be me, and I don't want to be manipulative about it. I don't want to be, if I don't say this or if I say that, and if I do this and if I do, that's calculating, and you didn't want to do that. You just want to be you and authentic, right? So it's kind of like you overcame that secretive. You might still be secretive in the kind of way where you don't share everything, and that's totally okay. But you used to do it in a tactic way, right, to get love and affection. Procrastination, I love that one. Yeah, procrastination is usually when we are scared, right? So let's see. When I paint, I get procrastination a lot because I'm scared of fucking up the painting, right? So I paint the background. Oh, that looks great. So now I'm gonna paint the next layer, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, because this looks really good. If the next layer if I mess this up, the whole picture is done, right? Or I have to somehow fix it, or So I stopped painting until I got the guts to just say, okay, let's just try it. And then there's two layers, and I go to layer 3, or the third layer, and it's the same thing, procrastination again. I'm so scared of fucking up. And it's crazy. So there could be something in your life as well, like, or it used to be like you didn't have the guts, like maybe in dating, right? You didn't have the guts to approach the guy or the girl. So you, even though you had a crush on them for a long time, you just procrastinated and you didn't say anything. You tried the secretive. Oh, if I'm mysterious and secretive, they might want to, come towards me. Kind of, I can lure them in that way, instead of just being forward and say, you know what, I think you're really cute. You want to go out sometime, right? So it's kind of like you overcame that. You found out this is really complicated. Why am I using all these twists and turns when I can just go up and say this? I can just say, and if they refuse me, well, that's not the end of the world, right? Patience. Let me just feel this one. Okay, so I was talking about before you chasing your tail. That's kind of the energy I have here as well. That there wasn't much patience before, or actually, also what I'm hearing is you had too much patience with other people. That's a big one. So we stretch too much, right? We have too much patience with other people. We tell them that I don't like when you do that, and they still do it, and we tell it again, and they still do it, and like stuff like that. Or the insecurity of oh, what should I be saying? Oh, I'm gonna be secretive, and then they can come to me, and all that, instead of being forward. Just this, and at the same time with the patience, so you're being too patient with other people, but at the same time not patient enough, because you were kind of creating these manipulative, complex strategies, and that makes you impatient, because you really, and makes you want to, it makes you chase your tail, right? Because in reality you just want an answer, and you don't know how to get a straight answer because you're scared of getting a no, so you make all this complicated stuff, right? And you overcame that. You're somehow you're just like, I can't do this anymore, and you started being more patient, and you started focusing your energy inwards, and you started expressing yourself sexually, stop procrastinating, taking steps, and stop being secretive, right? Yeah, so I feel like you got some tools somewhere, somehow, that made these changes. Cool. So that's what you overcame. Let's see how other people see you. Masked Owl. Insight, Wisdom, Foresight, and Messenger. Island, Solitude. Yeah, I think we had that here. Just a second. So here with the isolation, right? So I feel like that when you hit a new mountain, right, a new obstacle, the first thing you do is kind of isolate. You go within, and you're trying to figure out how am I feeling about this, what's going on inside of me, how can I handle this, how can I grow from this. And that's the isolation that people see, right? They might not know that you're doing that work. They might just see that, oh, now you're not responding to my text, and you're not calling back, or you're just being very closed off, or something like that, right? We got sad. Yeah, that's funny. Again, with the sadness, right? So it's kind of, because, so this is how they see you. They see you as sad when you're isolated and in solitude. But that's because they don't understand. That's because they don't recognize their own emotion, and they're not going within, and they're not, giving themselves space. So when you do, to them, it's perceived as sad. But this is the same picture, right? Totally. You're just going within. You're not sad. Or if you are sad, there's totally room for it. If you are angry, then you're angry. Like it's not so difficult, right? Kind of like for other people, it's like, oh no, you're sad. You're going within again, and oh, you're just sad. But no, it's not a bad thing. Adaptable. Yeah. Dramatic. Oh, that's interesting. Authority, soul searching, and fragile. Yeah, so fragile definitely goes along with this sad thing. And I think with the dramatic as well. So I feel like this is a great thing, because usually this dramatic wouldn't be a good card, right? Being dramatic. But the thing is, those, I wouldn't say people as a whole, but those who see you as this sad and fragile and dramatic person are those who don't understand. So those who see you as dramatic is where you set a boundary and said, you crossed the boundary here, enough is enough. I'm not willing to do this with you. Either you change this, or we are not having a relationship, or I'm leaving this workplace, or whatever the situation is, right? And the other person would be like, oh my God, you're so dramatic. Like, please, you're so fragile, whatever. It was a joke or whatever, And you're like, no, I'm not having it. You're not throwing a tantrum fit. You're not yelling at them. You're just saying, That's not firmly, that's a boundary for me. You violated that. I'm not having that, right? And to them, because they can't take responsibility for their own words and actions, then you are the dramatic one, right? We're pointing the finger at you because we can't look within. So it's kind of a good thing, actually. I like it. Adaptable, yeah. So this is kind of, and soul searching. I love this. It's kind of this is one. Some people see you like this. Some people see you like this, right? And it's funny because it's this card, both of them. So this over here is this part, right? And this over here is this part. Soul searching, adaptable. What is the world bringing to me? Again, looking up, right? What is raining down? What's my path? Where am I supposed to go? I'm again with the looking up here, right? You're looking up. You're looking to the skies, to the heavens, to the gods, to whatever it is, and then you're adapting to whatever it is your life is like. Again, with a key life, you have to be adaptable, because when you unlock the one door, there's 99 left, right? So on to the next one. So one door might be in the jungle, another door might be in the savannah. So you have to change your code. Or and a third door might be in the Antarctic, right? So you have to get a winter coat. You have to be adaptable, otherwise you couldn't do this life. And it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. And so it's different how people see you, because the one who understands you and are the same level as you are, they kind of look up to you, because I have the authority card here, right? So they look up to you because you're so good at adapting, you're so good at going within, you're so good at soul searching, and they look up to that. They want to be like that. They want to be like, how is this person doing that? Can you teach me, right? That's how they feel. Like they're so, wow, I want to be able to do that too. I think that's so cool that you can do this island thing and just stay within and not like blaming everybody else or yelling at them or, throwing a tantrum or whatever it is, right? You can be fragile, you can be sad, and you make room for your emotions. I wish I could do that. That's how these people see you. Or maybe they do it too, right? And they're really good at it too, and they're mirroring that in you, and loving it, right? So that's really great. So that's kind of funny. We found two kind of people seeing you, but will that make sense? Foresight and messenger, wisdom and insight. Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation of how this group over here sees you. And free, with the wings, spreading your wings. Again, spreading their arms, looking above, spreading the wings, willing to fly, right? Yeah. So, last card is a dream you shouldn't give up on. Talent and home. That's interesting. That's kind of two different dreams, right? Or unless your unless your talent is to be a home decorator. But other than that, I really love, because the Ace of Pentacles, the Pentacles is the slowest moving energy there. It's an energy about building foundation, right? We're building this the right way so we don't have to build it again, so it doesn't fall apart. And that's really when building a house, right? Building a home. So there's a dream here. This could be like, maybe you have both dreams, or maybe because this is a general reading, you only have one of the dreams. It doesn't really matter, but you might have a dream of having your own home, or moving to a specific country, a specific city, or anything like that, or maybe just a specific house that exists that you want, or that you want to build, right? Or you could be the one with the talent. Maybe you want to be a singer, or you want to be an actor, or you want to be a famous painter, or just a professional painter, maybe not necessarily famous, but whatever your talent is. It doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe your talent is to make vases, right? Pots. How do you say that? Vases, when you out of clay, right? And that's kind of maybe you're saying, like, how could I use that talent? I can't live off making vases, like potteries. I can't live off of that. Yeah, you can. Maybe you can. Start off by doing it as a hobby, right? Sell whatever you make, and then take it from there. So definitely these two are dreams you shouldn't give up on. These two, like, maybe you feel like, how can I ever do this? That's the funny thing, because you are the kind of person that you're not asking how. You're just looking at the sky and saying, I'm ready for the next blessing to fall into my hands, right? And we've seen so many cards with that. So looking up, I have to find them all, because I think it's looking up. Is that? Looking up, there we go. So how many cards is that? 4 cards of looking up. This is crazy, you guys, right? This is totally you. This is so explaining of you. Looking up and asking the guides, the angel, the gods, whatever it is, what's next in life, right? What's next blessing? She's looking up as well. What's the next blessing here? So in a way, I don't think you kind of ever would give up on a dream, because maybe it's more that you're like, pile number 1 was kind of like, if there's something I want, I'm gonna find out how to get it, right? And you're not like that. You're more you giving up control, meaning that maybe you found out that you can't really do how you want life anyways, because you have a key life, right? There's not really room for manifesting, because there's so many things that you need to do. And so you just have to give over the control and see whatever comes, and then take that and go with that, right? So, and with that, I understand that we don't really know if we're going to get that home that we wish for, or that we can use this talent. We don't really know, because we have to wait to see what falls in our lap. But I do feel that, I'm going to share a story here, that when I was a child, I used to watch old Danish movies with farmsteads. Danish farmsteads is something very special and unique, and I loved it. I loved watching that. I grew up in a city, or a town, kind of a city. So I never really experienced it. I only saw it on the TV, and I never thought about experiencing it. I just really liked the movies. But as I grew up, when my husband, my then husband, we're not together anymore, but when we were looking for a house, I found out I want to live in the countryside. And we found our house, which was an old farmstead. And I didn't realize until then that what I've been watching as a child was something I was longing for. It was something that I really wanted. And I got it as an adult, right? And I'm hoping I go back to nature right now. When we divorced, I had to move into a small village, but I'm looking for going back to the nature. That's where I belong. And I have a dream of my own home, because I lost that home. I lost that farmstead because I couldn't afford it without him, right? And I don't want to experience that again. So I have a dream of having my own house. So I don't lose that if I lose the love, right, with a person. But I don't know. I have a key life as you. So I have no idea if I will ever get this house. But I think my point here is that I wanted something. I was so drawn to something as a child, and then I got it later in life. So what I'm just saying here is that I think there's a reason why we want stuff. And maybe it's going to go away. I don't know. Maybe I end somewhere else. Maybe I end up on Tahiti or wherever, and I end up living there on the beach, whatever, not in my own house, not in the forest, not in the woods as I want to right now. And maybe that's my real place. But right now, this is just what I feel. I'm just saying that I think there's a reason why we have these dreams, especially if you have a key life. It's because it's out there for you somewhere in the future. And as long as you follow whatever falls into your lap and not take over with the control, I think it's going to come, right? It's going to land at your feet when it's time. That's what I want to say with that. and I do feel like this is a lucky card as well. Like the gods are watching over you. And I think it's because you have a key life that needs extra protection, because it's very hard to have a key life with all the challenges there, right? It gets a lot of scarring physically and emotionally. So I feel like there's a lot, like you have an extra team, right? Not just the basic angel and guides, you have an extra team, like a larger team, because we need that when we have a key life. Because we're on, like so on all the time, we don't get a break, right? Yes, so pile number 2, that's what I have for you. If this resonated, please give the video a thumbs up. If you want to donate, that's very much appreciated. And there's information in the text below. Until next time, take care. Bye. Pile number 3. You chose the 4 of Cups, which is interesting. Usually it depicts someone, it's a card of missing opportunities. So usually it depicts a guy sitting leaned against a tree. He has 3 full cups and a 4th cup is being offered to him, but he's sitting with his arm crossed like, no, I don't want that. When in reality, maybe he did want that. He's not satisfied with the 3 he has, and the 4th could be a solution, but he's not taking it. But to me, actually, what I'm hearing here with this card is something about the glass being half full. We have 3 full glasses, and then we have one who is half empty or half full. But because the other 3s are full, I see this as being full, half full, right? Instead of half empty. And we see a blossom here, a flower here, blossoming and lighting up. And I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but sprinkling a little bit of, I don't know, that as nectar, I think it's called, down into the water, and vitalizing it, right? So this definitely might be one of your strengths, seeing the cup as half full. So we're going to get cards on your strengths, then we're going to get cards on what you've overcome, cards on how other people see you, and then final card is dreams to believe in and not give up on. So I'm gonna take my rings off. I don't feel like wearing them, I feel. So let's take a look. Got a lot of cards in this pile. On your strength part, I don't think the other piles had this many cards. That's crazy. So your strengths is confront. Wow. Immediately my mind jumps to shadow sides, right? This is being the shadow side. So if you don't know what shadow sides are, it's shadow part, shadow work is when you look. Oh yeah, well we got the shadow cards here, so I'm gonna explain that too. But shadows is parts of us that we suppress, right? So in our childhood, we learn that one of the best examples I always use is anger, because anger is so taboo, and a lot of people haven't learned to cope with anger because their parents didn't make room for it. So as a child, you might have experienced that when you were angry, your parents got upset with you, or angry, or told you to calm down, or go into another room until you calm down yourself, or maybe they just outright ignored you, right? There wasn't any grown-up taking themselves to your level and saying, I see that you're angry, let's talk about it, or I understand that you're angry, that this isn't working out, or whatever it is. Like, you learn that there wasn't any room for the anger. So to get love and affection as a child, this is subconscious. It's not something we know we're doing. Subconsciously, as a child, when we experience we're not being met multiple times, as for example, every time you're angry, your parents ignore you. Okay, there isn't any room for me here when I'm angry, so I'm gonna fragment, we fragmentize, we take that part of ourselves and we suppress it, we put it in the shadows. So it can be anything. It can be emotions like being angry, being sad, being happy even. You might have parents that didn't like you being happy, right? So that was the thing that you suppressed. And so when you put things in the shadows, emotions in the shadows, it gets unsafe. So it's not safe to be angry, it's not safe to be happy, if that was the thing, because your parents didn't create a safe space when you had that emotion, right? You weren't met. Yeah, and it can be many things. It can be experiences as well, and it can be okay, we're gonna get to that. Okay, there's a lot here, so they're saying like don't give a lot of examples, just get on with it. So I think that correlates very well with the glass being half full, because we're looking at shadows, we're looking at, okay, what's going on here, what can I learn from this situation, right? So your strength is seeing things as trying to find a positive in things without it being toxic positivity, right? Strengthening bonds and blossom. Wow, you guys, blossoming. Yeah, definitely, right? Finding the silver lining in things. I love it. Strengthening bonds. Let's just. Okay, just we'll come back to this one. They're saying. So let's do this first. 6 of fire. That's 6 of wands. 6 of wands is usually the victory card, success card. But this makes me think of 6 of swords, which usually depicts a boat sailing to calmer waters. An empress. Empress is the queen of all queens. She is the balanced, mature, grounded feminine energy. And that is, well, that makes so much sense, because that is about, feminine energies is about embracing emotions. It's about, like, if you are the mother, going down to the level of the child, meeting the child where they are, and creating that safe space. So really, I feel like what I see here is that you are a master of shadows. Really, you are transforming. You are an alchemist. You are, every wound you have, you've been working so hard on your inner child, being the mother of your mother and father, parenting yourself and the wounds that you have with you, because when you grew up, you didn't get there was something missing, right? It could be something as big as your parents being violent or having alcohol abuse or whatever, or it could be something as small as maybe your dad worked a lot, maybe your mom wasn't really paying attention, whatever, Uh, just there wasn't really room for you, so you had to take care of yourself. That's what I'm feeling. And then you grew up and still taking care of yourself and kind of taking care of everybody else as well. So that created that kind of mother energy. You're very good at creating space for other people, but your strength is also that you have created space for yourself. I see here. I can't describe this fireball. That's what I'm feeling in my heart right now. I think that's the best way to explain this. Is just this. Wow, wow. You're really cool. I gotta say, you're taking responsibility for yourself, and you're learning not to take responsibility for others where they need to take responsibility, instead of, like, in the past you might have gone like fixing people, right? Being a good fixer, and strengthening bonds, try to create that space for everybody else that you needed as a child. That's kind of, in the past, that's how you tried to heal, was to say, okay, I needed this as a child. I need this right now. So that's what I want to give. That's what I'm going to give to the world and everybody else, and my relationships, right? Friends and romantic, whatever, family. You were there for them. But the thing is that only attracts people who you try to fix, right? I know you didn't do it for a bad reason, like that you didn't, but you kind of attracted people who didn't take responsibility, because when you did this, you take responsibility for them. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them healing their own wounds, you try to heal their wounds, and that's just a match to people who doesn't take responsibility. So therefore, you've probably been betrayed a lot, and felt alone a lot in relationships as well. Yeah, I do feel like this 6 of fire. Well, it is sailing to safer shores for me in this reading, but but the fire. I feel the fire energy. It's fire is transformation, and that's seeing the cup half full, and seeing like what's what's the lesson here? What's the gift here? There's no situation, there is no gift in it, right? So that's, you have this kind of fire inside of you, in your belly. And you have this kind of, you're very headstrong, you're very head on. I don't know if that's a saying, but that's how it feels to say, like, if you see a shadow, you're gonna go for it. Like, the shadow can't run away from you, and you're not running away from the shadow as most people are. Okay, they're saying, moving on. Okay, we got the lady. And she's the naked one. In this deck, there's 2 ladies and 2 men. And one of the ladies is naked. Naked. Oh. So, yeah, that just being naked metaphorically, right? Showing who you are. You're not wearing a mask. And I think sometimes it frustrates you in this world that so many other people are wearing masks. And you're just like, oh, could we please just be authentic? That would be so much easier. But people haven't been working on themselves as you have. Like, you have gumptions. I think that's the word. You have, like, you're a go-getter. You're gonna fix it. You're gonna, like, I'm not gonna let anything tear me down. Maybe some of you are even like, I'm gonna show them. Right? No one can tell me not to do anything, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna show them that I'm strong enough, that I'm good enough, whatever it is. Whatever, you have this passionate drive. It's just like, I'm gonna fix this. I'm not gonna be, this isn't gonna tear me down or put me down, or, might be for a minute, but I'm up and about, like, in 2 seconds. Don't you blink, because I'm right there in your face, right? So you're so naked in that way. You're so, and the thing is, usually when people are naked like that, they're vulnerable, and you're not. You're so used to being in in that space where it hurts that you're like, you're not even vulnerable anymore. You're just like, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, this is my wounds. Yeah, it's bleeding. Yeah, it's festering. That's what you get. That's me, right? You're so, this is me. You can't, I don't need a shield. I don't need no armor. I don't need anything, because if I see my flaws first, you can point how many ever times you want. You can't tear something down in me and make me shameful of something that I already see myself and I'm not ashamed of, right? Like in Game of Thrones, have you seen that? Tyrion Lannister, he's a dwarf, and he says to Jon Snow, who's a bastard born outside of marriage, that and Jon Snow is having a hard time being a bastard at that time, when he's very young. And Tyrion says to him, the dwarf says, well, I when I accepted that I was a dwarf and that's a problem to people, like, when I accepted that, it went away. Like, if I see this first and I say this first, and you don't even have to say it, you just have to see it yourself first. This is something that other people might see as a flaw, but I find a strength in it. And I have so many other strengths that they might not see, because the first thing they see is that I'm a dwarf. But if I know it, if I own it, then nobody can use it against me, right? That's what he told Jon Snow the Bastard, and I love that, because it is that. If you own who you are, then no one can use it against you. Your flaws and all. Everybody got flaws, right? Okay, need some water here. Shadows. Lost. Oh, I love it. It makes so much sense, because here we have one of those things that when people feel lost, you're like, I don't like feeling lost, and we have to have a reason to live. We have to find our perfect job. We have to find the perfect romantic partner, blah, blah, blah. We have to create a family. And when that doesn't happen, we feel lost, right? And you're like embracing this. When you feel lost, it's because something new is growing inside of you. It's because you're reaching into a deeper depth of you that you haven't seen before, and therefore you feel lost because this is new, and you're the adventurer, right? That fire in your stomach is just like, oh yeah, we're gonna see something. We're gonna go into a whole new cave. We have no idea of the system. We don't know if we're gonna get out again. This is a journey, right? The cup is half full. So you lost to you. It's just like, hell yeah, I'm going to go into the spaceship and it's going to shoot me somewhere out in space and I have no idea where, but we're going to find a new world and I'm looking forward to it. Right? And for other people, it would be like, oh, lost. Yeah, maybe get depressed and stuff like that. And you're just like, that's just a feeling like everything else, and I embrace it. And that's so cool. Intimacy. That's interesting. When I just said being vulnerable, right? Because intimacy is being vulnerable. So the strengths here that you have is your. I think a lot of people are scared of you. Actually, I gotta say, I'm not surprised if people run away from you, because you are intense. You are like fire personated, right? Fire in a human body. That's so crazy. Whew. One of your strengths is being intimate, and and a strength being vulnerable, and you are just so blunt. There is no reading between the lines. There is no masks. There is no nothing here. It is what it is, right? You are who you are. And I think people, because there's not many people like you, so people who the more people wear masks, the further away people are from themselves, the more scared they're going to be of you, right? So to you, it's kind of easy to see which kind of people matches you, because the one who runs away doesn't, right? Yeah, and you're like, wow. I feel when you're intimate, like it doesn't have to be sexual intimacy. It's just generally bonding with another person for you. It's like you kind of put your fire into them. I feel like you're sharing your fire. When you bond with someone, when you choose someone, that's actually what happens here. I feel like you choose people. You kind of like take a look at them, right? Feeling. You can feel other people. You can feel a lot of the world. You're so intense. Don't you ever get tired? Wow, it's crazy. This fire is burning all the time. I feel like this energy is, wow, kind of like a small tornado. Like I'm gonna get, yeah. Anyway, so I'm trying to calm my energy here. Um, you you feel people, and you feel, okay, there's a connection here. I choose to open myself. When you open yourself, you are opening up this fire, and you're kind of putting the fire into the other person, making that connection between you and the other person, kind of pulling them in, and that might scare them, because you lose control when that happens. Um, yeah. So when you're intimate, like just talking to a person that you're bonding with, it's just this, you become kind of one. You feel each other so much, so deeply. That's crazy, you guys. Grandiose. Yeah, I love it, because usually this is kind of my narcissistic card, because narcissists are like, I don't know what this is called, pawned. I think pawned, like they're a regular person, like everybody else, but they think they're the king, right? But I feel like you're like, this is me. I'm a regular person, but I have a crown. So you're not better than anybody else, but you see what you have that other people don't have, and you see what other people have that you don't have, and you appreciate that in yourself and in other people, because you see the world like puzzle pieces, right? You are a puzzle piece. You don't have to have everything, and that's why it does always have full. It doesn't matter if you have flaws, because you don't have to have everything. You don't have to be perfect, because if you were perfect, you wouldn't fit with any other puzzle piece, right? And that's kind of the idea, the point here. We want to be intimate. We want to fit with other people. So we have to have flaws. We have to not be perfect. And so, yeah, you are a pawn just like everybody else. You just have to have a crown. You just have to have a crown where someone else might have a scarf. It doesn't really matter. It's just seeing you for who you really are. And you're like, yeah, that's me. I don't have a problem with that. Blame. Toxic masculinity. That is so... Okay. Strength. Wow. Whoa, I love it. Okay, yeah. Nothing gets past you. So when people point their finger at you, three fingers are pointing back at themselves, right? When I point at you, three fingers pointing back at me. So because you're so good with the shadow side, oh man, you're good. You're really good, honey. So whenever somebody's blaming you for something, you're just like, yeah. I know that's your shadow talking, so let's take a look at that. Let me help you unmask this. Let me help you dig deep into that wound and fester, and see if we can't take that out a bit and heal that a bit, right? Patch you up here. All right, well, I think that sometimes you can come across kind of condescending, and I think if someone really annoys you, you would be condescending. You would be like, you would become this kind of narcissistic prick, rising above the other person. But I gotta say, to be fair, if they are a prick, you can't, again, it's the flaws. You don't have to be perfect. I can't, I try to be a person who's like, I really want to embrace everybody. I want to meet people with understanding and love, and I want to make them feel safe and secure in the world. I don't want to make them feel shame or fear or insecurity. I want people to feel safe, right? I'm a therapist. I help people heal. That's my work. That's my job, to create safe spaces. And I'm like that as a person. It comes naturally to me. But I gotta say, if someone's being a narcissistic asshole, then I'm gonna give back. Like, I got sass, girl. And I'm not putting out my fire because you're sitting there having all these, like, pointing your finger at me. I'm gonna fire back. So I feel like you're the same. Like, we could be sisters here, sitting at a pub, and some random dude coming up telling us that whatever's wrong with us, and we're like, yeah, coming from you, right? So what's up with you, dude? What are you bringing to the table, right? Again, with the toxic masculinity, you'd spot it right away. Like, you're so good at this shadow work that toxic masculinity, and I would say toxic femininity as well, anything toxic, you like that, you see it. No one can hide it. And you see, you're so good at, and that's the thing, you are very good at distinguishing between the people that you can help and people that you want to help, and then the assholes, right? Where you're just like, you're just toxic masculinity. And I don't, then the sass comes up, right? Either the sass comes up, or you're like, I'm not dealing with this today, I'm walking away, right? Sometimes the sass comes up, right? We can't help it. It's fun. I'm only human, so are you. But you know that. So you're very good, I feel, at distinguishing and giving love to those who are, because yeah, sure, this toxic person needs love as well, but they're not able to receive it anyway. So right. So you're very good at distinguishing this person here. I want to meet with love and affection. That's like 99% of all people, right? And then there's this 1% of assholes where you're just like, girl, no, not today. I'm not having that. Okay, that's your strength. Man, I gotta say, I love you. We could be good friends. I'm not sure. I think maybe I'd be scared of you because you see, no, yeah, I don't want to say that. But you're so, no, actually, no, I take that back. I wouldn't be scared of you. I would call you in my darkest hour, and I would take you on my sunshiny days to the beach, right? I would be, the way you live life is so deep and it's so rich. Oh, I just noticed, look at this, leaves. So her fire is turning into leaves. Oh, you guys, I love it. So you're planting something. You're planting, oh, there's a lot. You're planting a lot of seeds and a lot of people. You just gotta know. Just telling you here, like, your life purpose is with all this that you're doing. It doesn't matter that you're sassy sometimes against those assholes. Sometimes we need that too. Sometimes we need a smack in the face, right? To see straight and see, like, okay, I was wrong. I was being brutal, or victim mentality, or whatever, right? But you're planting so many seeds with other people in the way that you're meeting them and creating space for them, and you're giving them so much. You just need to know that. And I love your vulnerability, man. Just keep that up. That's so great. And you're fired. I think the reason why I said I might be scared of you, because my energy is, all right, I have to find this again to show you. No, where is it? Here. Your energy is fire. My energy is earth. My energy is very zen, very, very calm. And your energy is just, it's got so much. Yeah, I can't even. So to me, being so calm, it could be scary with someone who's so fiery, right? But, fire can give earth something, and earth can give fire something. So I think that when people get scared also of each other, it's because there is sometimes it's triggering the deep wounds that comes to the surface. And so really what we're scared of, again, is what's inside of us, right? So I wouldn't be scared of you. I would be scared of what you're making me see within myself. But that's like, if you're ready to see it, then it's a beautiful thing. Yes, more water. This energy is crazy. Like, I feel like I go for days. Go for days. Like, took 25 minutes. I think that's the longest reading just for your strengths. So, more shadows here. We got what you've overcome. Let's do these first. Separation. Wow, that makes so much great. Wow, that makes so much sense with the intimacy. It's intimacy card. Let's see here. I gotta find it again. This is kind of like the same people here, right? So we were separated, now we're together. I feel like, so there's also something about your inner masculine and feminine sides coming together, right? I feel like separation has brought you, like you've experienced separation so many times in relationships where I feel like you gave yourself, right? You overstepped your own boundary to give in relationships, to be something, because you've always known that you are a lot. You are a lot of fire. You are a lot of drive. You are a lot of passion. You are expansive energy, right? That's who you are. But you try to tone it down because people around you are like, oh my God, fire, fire, every single fire. I think somewhere along the way you just said, you know what? I'm just gonna love me for me. I'm just gonna be that, right? I'm a peasant. That's not a peasant. That's because the Danish word for peasant and pawn is the same. We call it anyway. so you're like, yeah, I'm a pawn, just like everybody else, but I got this crown. That doesn't make me better. That just distinguishes who I am, and that's just who I am, flaws and all. So you kind of like overcame that separation part of yourself, right? You're separated from yourself every time you're kind of in a relationship, or even with friends, because you're overstepping your own boundary and suppressing yourself, right? So when you started to realize, I don't want to suppress myself, I want to be me, and if people can't handle that, then I'd rather be alone, then you overcame the separation. Romantic. Revengeful. Oh, that's the sassy again. Oh no. Reckless. Greedy. So let's see here. These are things you've overcome. I feel with the reckless here, I love this image because I'm gonna sit in this going down the waterfall, no problem. Like looking up, assessing, how can I do this? How do I get to the top? So I could, like, it's you're gonna die, dude. It's gonna be okay. So I feel like that fire you had in you, it might have been a bit uncontrolling before, and especially when we suppress things, it gets uncontrolled. That's why some people get angry go from 0 to 100 like that with their anger, because they suppress it. So they don't see it coming and building up because they suppress it, so they explode, right? That's the same thing with your fiery energy. You're like, because you were suppressing it to be in these kind of relationships and friendships and whatever, you weren't really being you, and that made you do some really stupid things sometimes, because that fire, you can't hold fire down, right? It's gonna tear you up. So I feel like you might even have been quite toxic in romantic relationships as well, because fire and passion and temper and stuff like that. And you might have been quite revengeful as well, because that sassy part of you, right? And you might have gone into kind of a victim mentality sometimes. Like, let's say you're in a romantic relationship and someone dumped you because you were too much. Or you might have been a little toxic, right? maybe a lot. Only you know that. And so they dumped you, and you were like, hell no, I'm gonna find my spell book. This is a witch's spell book here, and I'm gonna hex this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna make his pants itch, and his feet bleed, and I don't know. It's just like you got pretty revengeful. So remember, this is general readings that might not necessarily fit, but you got kind of greedy maybe sometimes. Could be money, but could also be energy. That's usually how I depict money. Money to me is a symbolism of energy. Yeah. So take like being hoarding energy, kind of. And I'm hearing relationships. So you might have friends where you are not good at sharing those friends. Meaning that if you have a best friend back in the day, that's your best friend. Like, they could have other friends, but they couldn't have other close friends because you were the best friend. You know what I'm saying? So kind of there's a lot of toxic here, energy. I'm just seeing if there's other messages with these. I feel with fire it can be difficult to control. I feel you master it now 100%, but I think in the past you kind of did maybe more damage sometimes than good because you suppressed yourself so much. But only you know that, right? You know what's right for you. So let's see what else we got with what you've overcome. Help from above. Sadness. Oh yeah, honey. I understand. So being that, it's kind of like I'm seeing a fairy in the world of mermaids, right? So you're flying across the lake. You can't get down to the mermaids and they can't get up to you because you live in different kind of worlds, right? And you're trying to connect with them, but you can only connect like at the surface of the water. You can never go down to them and they can never go up to you. That's kind of how I feel like you used to live. And that brought this sadness with you. And I think that's why you became like so unbalanced and kind of reckless and kind of maybe toxic even. Revengeful is kind of toxic. And I feel like you are looking so much for love, but again with the separation, right? Every time you go into it, it's like, oh yeah, I found another fairy. Oh no, it's a mermaid. Right? Every time finding out we can't be in each other's world and I can't be who I am. And in reality, yeah, you just had to fly ashore and find other fairies. You didn't know that. You were in the wrong world. You were with the wrong people. And you didn't know that. You thought somehow maybe that you were a mermaid. And you couldn't really understand why you couldn't be with the other mermaids. You knew you were different. But you didn't know why you didn't fit in. Until you stopped that, right? Stopped suppressing yourself. You flew into land. And you found other fairies. And you're like, oh my God. I love it. You guys. There's more than me. There's others like me. Yeah. Right? Yeah, help from above. I feel like the past you was very disconnected. We don't have the victim card. I think actually I had that in another pile, so that's probably why it's not here. But I feel like it would have been here. I feel like you could have a kind of victim mentality in the past where, let's say someone dumped you, right? And immediately you would see like the universe left you. She might have been prone to kind of believing in the universe or God or something like that, but whenever something bad happened, victim mentality stepped in and you cut all bonds with the universe, being mad at them, like, why are you treating me like this? I remember, okay, so story from my own life here. When I was in my late teens, when I was 16, I got PTSD and it tore me apart. I was broken. I couldn't even rinse a cup after I've drunken a glass of juice or something like that. I could barely survive. I was so broken. So it took me a lot of years to get back on my feet again. And in those years, whenever something bad happened, because I was so broken to begin with, whenever something bad happened, I always felt like, okay, is there some kind of gods sitting up there playing Monopoly or Ludo or whatever you play, some kind of board game, and I'm a piece to move around this board game, and whoever is playing my piece is shitty at it, right? Either they're shitty at it with the baddest luck with the dice, or they're just having fun at losing all their money and property and, being beaten in Ludo and sent back home, whatever. It's what's going on, right? Kind of yelling to the heavens. Could you please give someone else my pawn, my piece to move with? Because this isn't going very well, is it? I was so frustrated. And you might have felt something similar, like the gods had abandoned you or whatever every time something bad happened, because you were so broken to begin with, right? You were so out of place, and so suppressed. Yeah. But this is great, you guys. This is what you've overcome, right? You overcome the sadness. You did connect to the universe. You overcame the separation and the fear of the romantic and kind of the hunt for the romantic. I feel like you you are so like, I need to have this love, right? And I'm overstepping my own boundary and suppressing myself because then this person will accept me. Problem is that's not you. And when you shine through a little with who you really are because you start to feel safe with this person, that's not who they thought you were. And so you're being dumped. And yeah, there's a lot of things here. But I'm going to say all of this is great things to overcome. I feel with the greedy energy as well, that sometimes when you feel like, well, then fuck this, then no one can have me, then I'm gonna share nothing with no one, right? And now you're just like, I love it. Like, I have to find that card again. This here, you got no shield, you got no armor, you don't even want to close your robe because you don't care. This is me, this is my boob hanging out. That's how it looks. If you don't like it, turn around, right? That's sass again. So you're not closing your shirt. You're not keeping everything in. You're not putting up a shield and protecting yourself against the world because you found out there's nothing to protect yourself against. The world isn't dangerous. We all have flaws. And when we see our own flaws and embrace that, then there's room for us, right? We make room for us, not other people. We do. Wow. I'm so loving this pile, gotta say. Okay, more water. I'm so hot. I'm so hot right now. This fiery energy is really going to my body. I think I'm going to drink a liter of water when I'm done with this. Let's see how other people see you. That's exciting. Fuck this energy. This is crazy. Whew. Other people see you. Wow. You guys. Wild horse, freedom, sensitivity, spirit, and partnership. Yeah, and I love this, like the kind of Indian mark we have on it. Yeah, that makes me think of Pocahontas, right? That's my favorite Disney character, and I was sitting by the creek today singing one of the Pocahontas songs and just vibing with myself in nature. It was great, you guys. Anyhow, enough about me. How you doing? So, what was I gonna say with this? Yeah, and Pocahontas, right? She was so young. Like, I'm just going from the Disney movie here, not the historical fact that she was even younger then. But just in the Disney movie, so young and still so embracive of John Smith, and like you know that the land you're here trying to take, it doesn't have any value that you want. It only has the value that we've built together with nature, stuff like that. So like again, instead of taking things, instead of like making this ours, instead of that greedy energy, it's like, let's work together, like the puzzle pieces. I got this flaw. Where does that fit with your flaw? How can we bring that to something good and, right? Tangible. I'm not, like, I can't even, right? I am feeling so hot right now. I want to take off all my clothes because I'm feeling so hot. And that's just this energy. It's crazy, right? The sun here. Wow, radiance, you guys. Oh, harmony. I love it. You could play music. We had that in another card, didn't we? I have to find it. I'm so sure I did see. Yeah, we did. I thought about it here with the harp, actually, but I didn't say anything. But you might be prone to music. Like, maybe you just connect very well with music. Or at least just some artists or some type of music, and you're really vibing with that and going within with that, or you can sing or play an instrument or maybe more, and that's something that if you can do that, please share with the world. Like, if you're talented in that way, please share it with the world, because that's something that's going to give something really good to other people. Like, no, I'm not. Okay, I was about to share something personal again, but my guy's like, yeah, that's enough, Elizabeth. Just turn it down a bit. Okay, I guess that's your energy, right? I want to share with you. That's great. Okay, next. Sorry. Introspective. They see you as introspective, funny, and beautiful. Yeah, you guys. I mean, how can they not? I gotta say, when I first thought about this video, like making a video about giving you a confidence boost, I did not think it would go this well. I think this is a great confidence boost. People say, and this girl, I love her so much. She's so beautiful. I have no idea who that is, but I think she's so beautiful. So people think you're beautiful and funny and harmonious and radiant, and you're a wild horse, like you can't be tamed because you know who you are, because you're so introspective and you're so wise, I feel, and that freedom in you and sensitivity, and the people are just like, yeah, like you're a catch. People see you as a catch. And those who don't are the one who runs. And even the one who runs see you as a catch. But I feel like, again, with you being so, you're so much light, right? If you are the light and you're shining away all of your own shadows, whenever you see a shadow of your own, you're hunting it down, right? You're not running away from it. So there isn't many shadows left. And a normal person is running from every shadow they have. So it's when you're standing there being so bright, right? Standing in your light and not having all those shadows because they're not in the shadows anymore because you embraced it. That's scary to them, right? Because we mirror ourselves in other people all the time, in every person. So when they mirror themselves in you, they're like, oh my God, you're so bright. I can't, like, I have to run away from that because you're going to shine the light on my shadows. I can't be in that. That's too scary. That's too much. That hurts. And not recognizing that you actually have the space for them to heal. You're not only shining a light on your shadow, you also can create this space where people can sit in that shadow and you can help them heal. But only if they got the guts to do it, right? You can't do it for them. That's what I feel like. You know that. I'm not gonna do this work for you. That's what you did in the past, right? You overstepped your own boundary trying to fix other people. Now you're saying, this is my light. I can shine a light on your shadow, helping you realize what's inside of you, but I'm not going to fix it for you. I'm going to create this safe space, and if you want to step into the safe space, you're more than welcome, and I can embrace you, but I'm not going to drag you in here. I'm not going to chase you, hunt you down. I'm not going to make you love me, right? I'm just going to stand here in my own light, and if you want to come in, you are so welcome, right? Here with the partnership as well. Like, you are so embracive of people who dare to be in your light is what I want to say. You're beautiful. You're so beautiful. Really, you are. And I feel like maybe sometimes you can still be lonely because it can be lonely to be so bright. But you are a very special person, really. I don't think I feel this. I've made many videos throughout the years here, the past years. I've had my tarot channels in Danish and English, but this is a very special energy, I gotta say, that you have. And yeah, that is so beautiful. So beautiful. I want to say I love you, but yeah, take it in if you feel it, if you feel it's right. I do definitely love your energy. Yeah. Okay, last cards are the dreams to not give up on. Dreams to not stop believing in. Oh, I've got a bit of paint here. Oh, okay, long video, right? 42 minutes. Justice, truth, and friendship. Oh, I love it. First thing that came to mind here with the truth, she's holding the mirror, right? This is you. You holding the mirror up to the world. So this is you standing in your light. Other people mirroring themselves in you. You being ready. You're being open for them to come in when they're ready. That's what I wanted to say. I feel with the Justice card that other people. Okay, how can I explain this? You have been, let's say you've been in relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, stuff like that, and you were true to yourself and said, I'm not doing this anymore, or calling someone out on their bullshit, like you're being toxic, or you're being violent, or you're not being fair to another person, or whatever it is. You being that honest and blunt, how do you say that in English? What's the phrase? You itched someone in the wrong way? No, that's not the phrase. You rubbed, yeah, that's the phrase. You rubbed someone in the wrong way. You rubbed them, you rubbed them in the wrong way. And so they got revengeful, right? The old shadow that you used to have, they have. And I feel with the Justice card that, let's say, if I've seen this a lot actually with people having exes and children with exes who are narcissistic. And when you realize we're not going to be in a relationship anymore because this isn't good for me, it's not good for our children, it's better that we split up, and then you have to find a solution. Then the narcissistic, it doesn't have to be a narcissist, they might just have narcissistic traits, there's a difference there, but I'm just saying something here, right? Just so. Um, then the narcissist will use the children against you. So this is just one scenario. You know what fits for you, right? There's someone out here to get you, kind of like they're telling other people bad stuff about you, and there's something here about justice. So I feel like you can never escape this, because you will always rub someone in the wrong way, especially you with your fire and delight that you have, holding up that mirror and being so honest and blunt that you are. You're just going to step on someone's feet. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that they don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to see the truth in that. So they want to make you out to be the bad one. It's, again, with the blame. Instead of looking within, they blame you, right? And I do feel like with the justice here, things to never give up on is that there will always be, kind of the world will always be split in two for you. There will always be those who see your light, and there will be those who see your light as something, as a narcissistic person. So other people will call you a narcissist because you stand strong in yourself. You're not a narcissist, not at all. I can totally feel that in your energy. Again, the sass can come out when you meet the pricks and the idiots, right? But you as a person, no, and you're so abrasive. But it's because you have so good boundaries, and you're so good at saying no to people and saying, I don't want you in my life, you're toxic or whatever, right? And you're being honest and blunt about it. People just, I'm not toxic, you are, right? No, you are. And you're just stepping back and saying, I'm not going to be a part of this, I'm just going to dislodge, right? So the justice here is that there might be some of these, let's just call them narcissists just for the simplicity of it, that tries to turn people against you. But most of those people, like maybe some of them will be like, oh, okay, yeah, I heard of that person, being you, right? I heard that person, and oh, I didn't know they were like that. That's terrible for you, or whatever, right? But most other people would maybe start stalking you, like the like Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and try to see who you are and try to assess for themselves, and they will quickly realize that this person is wrong, that you're not what they're making you be, right? And that will like actually make them take a step back from that person. So that person is just undermining themselves. They will be able to like control some other people and how they see you, but it's not important. That's just little people, not in a mean way, but it's something that isn't important to you. So the truth will come out, right? Those where it's important, where it makes a difference, for example, with children and stuff like that, they will see your light. They will see the truth that this person can't ruin that because you're so bright. So the right people we see. So there's, don't give up on that justice. If you're in some kind of battle with a narcissist or something like that, it will turn out fine. Yeah, you can have peace with that. Friendship, I felt that, again, as I said before, you might still be lonely sometimes, and of course when we're lonely we can get sad. So I see here, this is you, right, with the fire in your belly. I love it. This is spirit looking down at you and smiling because you're with your friends. So you see, they don't necessarily have that fire, so maybe you're the fire. Let's say, I love this actually, let's say we got these 5 girls here. You're the fire, then there's someone who's water, and someone who's earth, someone who's air, and someone who's what's the last one? Ether? I think there's like 5 elements, right? And so you're not supposed to find, like, you isn't there like different fairy types? Like, so you're a fire fairy, and then you have to find water fairies, and you have to find kind of your species, but a different kind of variety of your species, because again, it's the puzzle pieces, right? You don't want someone exactly like you. You want someone who complements you and who you complement. So don't give up on this friendship. It's definitely out there, and it doesn't have to be a lonely life. And just focus on you is what I'm hearing. Like, focus on your energy. Keep holding up that mirror because you're doing great, honey. Really, you are. And if you're lonely, that, I'm so sorry. I don't want you to feel that way. Spirit doesn't want you to feel that way. But they're saying someone's coming in. But it's important that you stay in your light because that's how they're going to find you. Okay? If you start to dim down again, they can't find you. So stay in that light. Be beautiful. I want to cry right now because I just love your energy. Really, you are so special. And I know that can be difficult. So yeah, you're beautiful, my darling. Keep seeing the glass as half full. You're doing great. And you're doing a difference in the world, definitely. And they're bringing back the music again. So maybe you're not sure if you have a talent for music, but maybe you aren't wanted to do. Maybe you always thought about, it could be fun to try to play the piano or the guitar or something like that. Try to learn how to sing. Go do that. While you're waiting for your tribe, go learn some music. Maybe that's how you're gonna find your tribe, right? Go do that. Go do that. Yeah. So pile number 3, that's what I have for you. If this resonated, please give the video a thumbs up. I love this reading. I really do. I love your energy. Yeah. Until next time. Take care. Bye. Pile number 4. So you chose this 10 of Swords for your confidence boost reading, which is very interesting because I feel like this is you, right? This is like the past, every time you've been kind of impaled and all the trouble you've been through, and you've been through a lot, and now you're sitting here on top of everything, the world, and with your back turned to the past, I feel. So in this reading, I'm going to get cards on your strengths. I'm going to get cards on what you've overcome. I'm going to get cards on how other people see you. And the last card I have for you is dreams to believe in / not give up on. So let's just jump into it. Let's see here. Your strengths. Oh, we got a lot of cards for that one. Oh yeah, okay. Let's do this one here. Tower. Wow, I love that, because that's kind of just what I said here with all the things that you're kind of like your life is tower moments, right? Built by tower moments. Like, it feels like every time you build something, you were finished building a tower, then an earthquake hit and everything crumbled and you had to build it anew. That's kind of how all this feels like. And it feels like in every part in your life, like it's relationships, it's work, it's your dreams, it's maybe it's your home, like maybe it's patterns, thought patterns and stuff like that. Yeah, so you've been, one of your strengths is that you've been really good at building, right? You've built so many towers in your life that now whenever earthquake hits, you're like, okay, I'm just going to grab what I can use here and build something new. Okay, like you can't even get upset about it anymore because you're so used to it. That's crazy. But I love in this deck, the Good Tarot, I think it's called. Yeah, the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. It's only a positive. So she's only positive inspired for that deck. So I like that. That it's positive tower moments. We got that's the compass, the book, and the anchor. Oh, the anchor, definitely. So you've been through this so much that you just got anchored. You just got, just like I said, like no matter what happens, like the earthquake hits and you're like, oh, okay, we have to build again. It doesn't even, it might bother you, but it's not like you're not, like in the past, you kind of lost it, right? When tower moments hit us, we are like, what am I going to do? I'm so confused. I don't know who I am, where I'm going to go, what I'm supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. Now you're just like, oh, okay, new direction. Fine. Where are we going? Like you kind of seen everything, right? Yeah. Yeah, and with the compass, again, where are we going? Fine, I'll adjust, right? You become so adjustable in life. But I'm not, but you still, I feel you're very good in boundaries. So you're not adjustable in the way of other people can tell you what to do. You're not, no, that's not how you're adjustable. You're adjustable to life. So if something happens, that's what you deal with, right? And you change your course. Yeah, like sailing, right? Okay, so a storm is coming. How can we go around that? Book, yeah. And I feel like these books, it's just really another chord for the Ten of Swords here. I feel all these books are all these swords, right? It's kind of like in your whole lifetime, like let's say a book is a lifetime, right? It's one life, but in your lifetime, it's like you had all these books, right? It feels like you had so many lives in one lifetime, and I feel like it already started when you were young. Like you might have been 20 when you felt like, oh my God, I'm on my third life already, right? This is a long one. Yeah. That makes you kind of wise, right? And I think the adjustable part it's a great strength, and the anchor with being grounded and just like not being thrown off by life's challenges. It's like, okay, or really that feeling of, oh, okay, where are we going now? Will there be snacks? That's kind of like nothing can kind of rock your boat anymore. I'm feeling, right? Weird, yeah. Daydreams and decisions. So that's a nice strength, being good at making decisions. And I think it's nice to daydream as well. It kind of maybe like an escape, but since this is in your strength, I think that it's more like that. Let's say you buy a house and you can imagine a visionary, right? What am I supposed to renovate? What should I plant in the garden? So daydreams like that, like how you can improve your life is kind of what I feel like here. Success and growth. Beautiful card. Reach out. Challenging times. Yeah. I love that he's kind of enlightened here at the head, right? So it feels like with the crown chakra and the third eye chakra that all this was lessons to you. I feel your energy feels tired. Like in this, when I'm reading your strength, like it's kind of like, because all you've been through, like you're tired, right? And I feel maybe that's why when something hits you, you're like, okay. You don't have the energy to have a reaction anymore. Open up. That's beautiful. So these are beautiful strengths. So I think that with all that you've been through, you learn that with the challenging times, why not just reach out? Why not just open up, right? Why not just make that decision and go for what you want? Because life isn't gonna hold back. Life isn't gonna slow down. Like it's continuous. When someone leaves us, or someone dies, or there's a disease or illness, or we break our legs or anything like that, we have to like accommodate. We have to adjust to that, right? Um, yeah, but I feel that I don't know if it's my own tiredness for all my own challenges I had in my life, but I do definitely feel that tired feeling from you. Like I could really use a break. If you don't know about it, there's something called a key life. I came across it one time in Danish. I haven't seen anything since, and I haven't seen anything in English, but it made so much sense to me. So the key life is that we come here to Earth. Normal life is like we come to Earth with a lesson, right? Let's say we have like 3 lessons during a lifetime. That's our book. And then we usually complete that with the challenges that we have. A key life is when we come here with like a keychain, like with multiple keys, right? We got maybe 100 keys to open 100 doors. We're not gonna make them all because that's too much, right? That's a lot of doors. But the thing is, when you have a key life, it's all obstacles, kind of. As soon as you're done with one obstacle, there's a new one, and you have to adjust again, and there's a new lesson, and there's a new lesson, and that's why it feels like so many lifetimes in one life, because it's, oh my God, right? You can be 30 and feel like 80 because you experienced so much. And I do feel that the older you get, the more it's gonna slow down. So it's not gonna go fully away forever. Like there's still, but it kind of feels like let's say this is your lifespan, right? It feels like in the beginning of your life, it's very packed because there's a lot to learn, because you need that over here. And also because you need to give it to others, I hear. So there's something here with being a teacher or a leader, even though you might feel like you're too tired to do that right now. I'm not walking in the front. Nope. I'm gonna sit in the back being pulled by a horse or whatever carriage, right? But there will come a point where this eases up a bit, and there will be longer between the challenges, so you've had time to gather energy again and forces, kind of like, I feel. And I feel like every time you build the castle or tower in the past, all these swords, right? They were, so you learn that's not how to build a roof. That's not how to build a staircase. That's not how, every time you built something, there was something not working 100%, right? And so whenever it got torn down, you had a new chance to build again, and then you could build the stairs in another way and see, oh, we're not building it the way it used to be because that didn't work. So we're going to build the stairs in a new way. Oh, I like this way. That's problem free. Yeah, we're going to write that down, take that with us next time we're going to build a tower, right? And so now you're somewhere in life, or you will be at least, maybe you're not right now, but you will be at least somewhere where you built the perfect tower because you learned, and other people are walking around with broken staircases and plumbing systems that isn't working and the front door is falling off, right? That's not going to happen to you because you've been building it so many times that you're kind of going to get the perfect castle. I want to say castle, but it's a tower, but castle, yeah, I think that sounds better as well. Yeah, and multiple layers, right? So I know that, like, if you're that tired feeling I'm feeling right now, if that is you and where you are, it's gonna be better. And I'm kind of hearing from your angels and guides. They're kind of like, sorry, but you signed up for this. Your soul decided this, that you wanted this, and there's so much to learn here. And it's a packed life. We're gonna, like, it's gonna get better, right? That's definitely what I'm feeling. Success and growth. So there's kind of like they're showing me a plantations. How do you say that? A plantation, like with a lot of trees, right? So let's say when we have a plantation, when we have somewhere where we grow stuff, we are growing an apple forest, whatever. And so we plant the seeds, and it's actually tricky work with apple trees, and we have to develop them. You have to cut a branch from another tree and put it on the stem on this tree, and then they have to go together, and that makes another. That's. I don't even know much about it. I just knew that, and that's too complicated for me. Like, I'm just gonna buy a tree. That's fine. Someone else did the work, but you're doing the work here, right? And you're making new sorts of apples, and it's take times to develop, and there's a lot of failure, but with failure is success and growth, but because failure is showing us what not to do, and no one who is successful hasn't failed, right? No one. Everybody who's successful fails on the way there, and they learn from their failure and the mistakes, and they say, okay, that's what not to do. That's where not to put energy. That's where let's do something else, right? Yeah, just a second. I want to reach beyond that tired energy and see what else is here, because it's kind of overwhelming. Okay, so beyond the tired energy, so when you're done being tired, when things lighten up a bit, there's a very, very, very zen energy, extremely zen energy. So you're gonna keep this even when you're not tired anymore, even like when you had that break and that gotten that energy back. There's a lot of joy, first of all, a lot of joy. Really, I'm bursting. And I feel like this bird here sitting in the sun, right? So this is the path. There's not much light here, but she's like embraced in the sun. This illumination. She finds the sun and she sits there, right? And she enjoys that. So that's kind of that's kind of your life when you get there. Maybe you're there already, but that is that you're so good at enjoying things because you've seen all the challenges in life, right? You're so good at appreciating things because of the challenges that you've been through. And that calmness, there is that it doesn't take much for you to have joy. It's kind of like you just need that sunshine, right? You just need that maybe a flower. You found a flower in the garden. You sat there and enjoyed it all day, and then you picked it up and took it inside, and now you enjoy it every time you walk by it, and the smell in the house. And it's such a small thing. It's kind of like you've become so immersed in life by all these obstacles, and when it finally lights up, you're like, oh, I can breathe again, and now I can feel the world, right? Whereas other people, with all the broken staircases and front doors falling off and stuff like that, they're so busy, like, because things isn't working, and you found what worked for you, and you found a way, you appreciate life because of what you've been through, right? And that makes you like the wise grandma, the wise grandmother. I feel like there's so much calm, and there's so much what's that word, contentment, right? Again, with the little joys being a big thing in your life. I really love that. So you're very easily to please, and that will make it easy for other people to be around you. But I feel like you are very how do you say that, you choose wisely, right? You've been using your energy wrong, or in your life, or not necessarily actually, but you're you came to realize how important energy is to you, so you're not going to spend it on the wrong people. That doesn't mean the people are wrong, it's just not a match for you, right? So you are very discernment, and you're very good at choosing the people in your life. So you might not have a lot of people in your life because you want that clean energy, right? Just a second here. Get some water. So whenever I get something with my throat chakra, it's usually about expressing yourself, and you're expressing your truth. And I feel like because you've been through so much, you get, like, with that open up and reach out, that honesty of just being you, of just being, I don't want to put on a mask. I don't want to use energy on that. Making decisions about, like, relationship, this isn't a match, or this isn't where I want to live, or this isn't what I want to do with my life. Like, I've been fighting and battling all my life. I want peace now. And if I have to change workplace, or if I have end-to-end relationships, or if I have to move somewhere else to get that peace, then that's what I'm gonna do, right? You're very resourceful, I feel, and that being resourceful with the ability to be so easily pleased and content is marvelous. I want to say that's a crazy good combination. Yeah. You might be kind of a minimalist as well. Very good at investing in the things that you need and nothing else, I feel. Yeah, that's a great strength. The next cards is what you overcome, and I kind of feel like we already covered that, but let's see what else we got here. What else they're gonna tell us? What you've overcome. Entrapment, yeah. Freedom. Mother. And abandoned. So there would have been an abandonment wound we got here, and you might have had mother issues, being that your mother abandoned you physically or emotionally, right? Maybe she wasn't emotionally mature. Maybe she worked a lot. Maybe she had a lot of children and there wasn't really room for you. Maybe she had a drug issue or an alcohol issue. Maybe she had a lot of boyfriends. There's a lot of things here where you could have been abandoned, like either physically or emotionally. And you overcame that. And you overcame that mother issue, right? It could also be that the issue with having children yourself, There's two scenarios here. One is that you wanted children, but you were scared that you weren't going to be a good mom because you didn't have a good mom yourself, like you didn't have a good role model. Or the other thing is that being forced to being a mom, kind of like because the society says so, right? That you felt like you didn't really want children, and and that fear of you kind of overcome that fear of having to defend that decision, what's right for you, because everybody else like, when are you gonna get children? Why aren't you a mom? Why don't you have any children? Why don't you want any children? What's wrong with you? Right, kind of like that. And I feel like you were chasing freedom. Actually, you used to chase freedom. You overcome that chase, and I understand because all of these obstacles. Every time you met a new sword, right, a new obstacle, a new mountain to climb, you just wanted to escape. You just wanted that. You were chasing that freedom, right? So you might have been a person who moved from home to home, or you weren't holding up a job for a long time before you got a new one, or relationships as well, moving from relationship to relationship, right? Trying to find that freedom outside of yourself because of all the obstacles. And that kind of kept you trapped. We got here, the doctors wearing those masks is from that time with the plague. They had these long masks that they filled with herbs and medicinal remedies. So because they thought that that would keep the plague away, that would clean the air before the doctor breathed in the air, and so they wouldn't get sick. It didn't, but but I like the metaphor of the plague here, right? And you're entrapped in the plague kind with all the obstacles that you have had in your life, that you couldn't escape it because it was a key life, right? It was something your soul chose, that there's a lesson in every situation and in every relationship. And when we're in it, and especially in the first part of your life, right, where it's very dense, of course we feel entrapped. And of course we're looking for that freedom somewhere, and love also, of course, and acceptance if we feel abandoned. That's natural, yeah, because you never learned it came from when. But you did. Now, where you are, you did learn. This is what you've overcome, right? You don't chase freedom anymore because you found it within yourself. And you kind of found that acceptance of, okay, I have a key life. Even though you didn't know you had a key life, you knew that you had, a life with a lot of obstacles, and and life throws a new one at you. Again, that tired feeling of, okay, okay, we're going this way. So you just you kind of just accept it. And with that accept, because you're not chasing freedom outside of yourself anymore, that comes from within, right? That zen feeling starts to develop, and that's kind of the point, actually. Yeah, that's great, you guys. So let's see. The next card is how other people see you. That's always kind of interesting. So we got, let's do this one. Wow. Oh, I like that. So yeah, you haven't gone through this for nothing. And when I said something about being a leader or a teacher, yeah, people see you as enlightened, right? They see you as, wow, thank you for sharing your knowledge and your story, because I can see myself in that. So other people who might have been, also because you dabbled with so many swords. All these obstacles are so different, right? One might be relationships, one might be abandonment, one might be crap bosses you keep running into. Another might be physical injury or illness, right? And again, it's all different. So whatever story you have to tell, there's always someone who can relate. So there won't be a person who can relate to all of it. But as the leader here, like you tell a story about this sword, there's gonna be people who can recognize that and say, thank you for sharing your story. I feel seen and heard from your story because that's my story too. I love it. Beautiful. Crayfish, protection, perseverance, vulnerability, and regeneration. So I like the vulnerability. So people do see that you're open and reaching out, but they also see with the shell here that no one can choose to be in your life if you don't choose them. No one can push in, and no one can tell you what to do. So it's very clear to other people that you're very protective of your energy and you have clear boundaries, and you're not messing around. If someone wants to be in your life, they have to make that effort and it has to be a match. And people see that, so they don't mess with you. I really like that. New beginnings. So they see that all these swords, right? It's again with the books. I really like that. I'm gonna get that card here. So this is all new beginnings because it's all new books, right? So people see you as someone who's really good at making lemonade out of lemons, right? Whatever life is throwing at you, you can make something out of it. And if that means a new beginning somewhere else, or in a new relationship, new work, new home, then that's what you're going to do. And they admire that, I feel, that you are so adaptable, and because most people are not, right? We're very rigid humans and kind of like fixed in who we are. And you didn't have a choice. You were being challenged so many times in life that, like in each book, like you're the main character, of course, but it's kind of like in one book it's a fairy tale where you are an archer. In another book it's a murder mystery where you're the detective, right? You've been through so many roles, kind of, that, yeah, and people see that. That's great. Grounding, yeah, I said that with the anchor as well. People do see the grounding in you, and I feel like they just see you for who you are because you don't wear a mask. You threw that away a long time ago when you found out that I don't want to find freedom or security or calm outside of myself. I just want to be me, and that's where that all that came from. When we just accept who we are and stop wearing masks, that freedom and calm comes from within, right? And we stop searching, and that creates that zen feeling. Rebirth, new beginnings. Again, I'm just, yeah, breach. So I feel like that's, again, people do see everything that you've been through. And I think a lot of people is like, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you came through. I don't know how you keep breaching the surface and coming up for air, because like your life has been a lot, right? They see that zen energy that I'm feeling as well. Yeah, again with the mask, because you're not hiding anything. You are who you are, and yeah, that doesn't mean that you don't, like, you share everything. It means you share what makes sense to share, and you're not being secretive, but you're being like, this is private, that's for me or my closest people, right? But I do sense a kind of sadness, not from here, from what people see in you, but maybe that's what's coming up next, because the next cards are dreams to believe in and not give up on. So I do feel a kind of sadness from you. I feel like, if you've ever seen that episode from Friend, Phoebe says to Ross that Rachel is his lobster. So there might be something here about that. With that, she meant that lobsters made for life. So if one dies, the other one is lonely forever. And so you might have lost a loved one. That might be the sadness that I'm feeling. Or you might have never really felt like you've met your lobster yet. So you might feel kind of lonely in this, because the majority of the world is walking around with masks. It's so difficult to find other people who've been through so much that you've been through, who's enlightened and seen life in a different way, or I mean, see life in the way that you do, because everybody's so busy, right? And you're so zen. You just want to be. You just want to enjoy. Like every time you eat something, you just want to taste it. Every time the sun shines, you just want to feel it on your skin. When you're in nature, you just want to feel the grass under your feet. You just want to kind of take nature in, and you become nature, right? You become a part of it. You're not sitting on the grass amongst the trees, surrounded by the trees. You are a tree, and your root go through that grass, right? You're a part of it. And I feel when we're so intense, there can be a kind of sadness. And that's the funny thing, because when there's a lot of spiritual teachers telling that, oh, you just need to find a peace within, right? And you need to find a peace with God or the universe and connect like that. And in my vision, or in my opinion, I feel like they miss out on a really big factor here, that humans are flock animals. Like we have flock mentality. We're not supposed to be alone. We're supposed to connect to other people. We're supposed to have a tribe. And the more you learn about yourself, the more difficult it becomes to match other people, because you can't bullshit yourself anymore. You can't, like when you found out what you need in life and where your boundaries are, you can't have a relationship just because. Like just because then you have someone to talk to, or you like that thing about them. That's not going to work if they're not respecting your boundaries, or if you're not a match on the other area. The more you get to know yourself, the more difficult it is to find other puzzle pieces that match you, right? And that can create this loneliness. So it doesn't really matter how well you know yourself, or how well you are connected to the universe or the nature or your soul. We're still flock animals. We still need a tribe, right? Yeah. So let's take a look at the dreams you shouldn't give up on. Closure and willpower. Okay. I feel with the closure actually that you're in transition right now. That might be the sadness I'm feeling. So you might have had said goodbye to someone, like your lobster or whatever, like a tribe. You're going out on your own now, leaving something, closing a door, and I feel like that might be the tired feeling as well. Like I know this is the right thing to do for me, but damn, I'm walking out into nothing now. I have to start over all over again. I know I can do it, but I'm tired, right? You don't want to be building new towers right now. You just want to sit in peace, and you just wanted a tribe, or you just wanted to, yeah, that calm, whatever it is, whatever you're walking away from. And it might not even have been your choice. Like if you get evicted, right, from a house, or if you get divorced, maybe your partner wanted the divorce, maybe you wanted a divorce, but now you lose the house, like, and friends and mutual friends. And there's a lot of things here, right? But they say here that you have a lot of willpower, right? You know that, but it would just be nice to have a break, is what I'm feeling. Mm, just a second, I need to. Oh, there's more here. I just can't really reach it. So your reading's been kind of funny, because in the beginning with the strength, your strength, right? We saw a lot of what you've overcome as well. And the other piles it has been more just strengths, whereas yours was what you've overcome, and then there was the cards from overcoming. And I feel like it's because you're in it. Like the other piles was much more out on the other side. You're kind of really still in that energy because you're leaving in that. And I feel that sadness and I feel that tiredness, right? Because you're still in it. And they're telling me the world is about to shift. So, because they're showing me her and they're showing me twisting. So, turning around, right? She's with the moon going around the earth, and she's kind of the one twisting it because she's standing up and turning around on her own axe. Okay, they're telling me that's a surprise for you, and you're gonna like it. So, yeah, it's okay to be tired right now and have a lot of sorrow, whatever you're going through. Do that. They're saying do that, honor yourself. We know you would anyways, but yeah, do that. Then we have a surprise for you. They're showing me a birthday cake. I don't know why. Um, and a lot of people actually around, like it's a surprise birthday, I think they're showing me. This is kind of funny. So yeah, but that makes sense with the surprise. So some of you are going to like, okay, I wanted to draw more cards than that, but they're saying no, it's a surprise, so I can't do that. Can I get cards on what not to give up on, like dreams to believe in? Yeah, yeah, we can do that. This. No? Okay, this. Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Just talking to spirit. Dreams not to give up on. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Well, we'll take it. I love it. So the sun, masculine energy, Queen of Swords, King of Cups, Temperance, Three of Cups, Friends, Five of Cups. Yeah, so with Five of Cups, they're telling me what you probably know already, like nothing is wasted. So when the Five of Cups spill, when we get a divorce, when we move, when we leave a relationship, whatever it is, it feels like the Five Cups here is spilled. But the good thing is that they're watering the earth, and from that flowers can blossom, right? So we're going for something, and that's the thing. Sometimes we even know, we know that it's good for us to leave this, but the sorrow is still there, and I feel like that's okay. Like we can grieve, we should grieve, we should respect our emotions and have that grief stage. And then in time, the water here would make it blossom, so something better will come along. There would be more balance, is what I'm hearing. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on friends and the tribe. We got the little birdie here. It's new, right? Something new is hatching. It's kind of, I feel like this is you, and these people are the one who's been waiting for you. So your tribe been waiting on you, but you've been the wrong place. Wow, this is very poetic, I feel. So you're now walking away from something, closing the door. And when you did that, you changed your directory. How do you call that? Direction. With the compass, right? So you're going in a new direction now, and this tribe wasn't a match for you before because you had to close that door because you were a match for something else. Realizing that you're not a match for that, closing the door, leaving that, going through the grief period, healing and releasing that, then you change and you become a match for this tribe. A tribe was very celebrating. That's not a word. We're celebrating tribe, right? That's kind of what I saw with the birthday cake. They're surprising you. Surprise! Happy birthday, right? New little kid here. I love it. Yeah. So you're don't give up on finding your tribe. Like find your lobsters. Okay, there's something here. So regardless if you are a woman or a man, like I feel this Queen of Swords represents you. So you might right now feel like her, very cold and very stoic. And the thing with closing the door, again, even though we knew it was right for us, if it was another person, they might have guilt tripped us or made us feel bad or triggered old wounds that made us take a distance to that person or even ourselves because we don't want to feel it. So you might feel like you're this kind of Queen of Swords, being selfish and not fair and or just alone in the world, kind of like. But she's like, there's two men on each side of her, right? So we got King of Cups representing emotions, and we got here the Emperor. No, sorry, the Sun representing the masculine energy. So I feel like there might be choices coming up actually because you're moving from that old energy into a new one. So you're gonna match new kind of people. So it might be two people you have to choose between, kind of actually. And I feel like maybe you're gonna choose this guy. She's looking at that guy, and I feel more drawn to him. That doesn't really matter. You don't know them yet, or probably not. I don't know. So maybe this guy is an ex trying to come back, right? We don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Like, this is a general reading, so I can't I can't tune into your specific energy. So anyhow, you're gonna come out of that, because I feel like this energy kind of you know, like ice melting. So you being that ice queen, so there might be this King of Cups showing up saying, I want to give you love, but she's turning her head away from him, right? And then we got here this guy sitting in his, like, he's so balanced, like you are, usually, like that Zen emotion, and your eyes are catching that Zen emotion and that animalistic energy of just being, right? And this guy, like, he's wearing a crown, he's sitting on a throne. This guy is sitting on earth, right? So this might be a more materialistic guy, which you are no longer a match for. You are a match for this guy. That's very interesting, actually. And there might be something they're saying, like, they're showing me with the Five of Cups. So you walked away from kind of a type like this, something that isn't enough for you. They're a king, but it's still not enough. Like, you need the Emperor or the Sun. Like, that must be like the highest energy of all. That's the happiest card of the tarot. So you might, like, there might be coming someone, like, in this, when we do this, when we change our direction, from one match to another, like we're changing stuff inside of ourselves. It's like throwing rocks in water, right? Pebbles in water, and the rings in the water, go out like that. So you've thrown the pebble, right? You close the door, but there's still gonna be rings in the water from the last pebble. So you're still in. As long as you're in transition, you might still attract the old thing you used to match. But it's, in a way, it's kind of a test. It's not a test, but it's kind of like, if they show up in your life, you will see that that's not for you. You might not see it right away because you're still in transition and you're still like unlearning, right? What you don't want, but sometimes we can't see it when we just meet it again. So there's a transition here, but eventually, like, I feel like it's only one person, if even that person comes into your life. It's not even certain they do. I don't feel it's a long list of admirers or anything like that trying to get in with you. I feel like it's at most one person, and you're very quickly gonna turn your back to him or like look the other way, and then your eye is gonna catch this guy. Yeah. And then there's this slow moving energy, actually, with because with the ice has to thaw and melt, and the winter has to end before the springtime can start. He comes here lighting something up, warming up your atmosphere, kind of making spring come, but it still takes time, and I really like that. So, because usually the swords is a fast moving energy, but also the sword is representing of the mentality. So maybe beforehand you used to be a match. Maybe you were Queen of Cups and match to King of Cups because you went with your heart, and now you learn that you have to have your mind with it too, right? It has to be a balance. Yeah, I see here as well, balance, right? You have to have both. You have to go with your heart, but you also have to, like, check with your mind and with your brain what's going on here. Is it just an old wound pulling me in this direction, right? So I feel like there's, like, if you don't have your lobster, there's definitely gonna be a lobster for you. You don't worry about time. Don't, like, take your time. I feel like he's not gonna go anywhere. As soon as you guys meet, when you guys meet each other, that's gonna come together in a natural pace, and there is no hurry here. And I do realize that in the meantime you might feel lonely, but remember, your tribe is coming in, right? You're doing a rebirth, so there might be like a little bit of dark night of the soul you're gonna go through now. Not necessarily, and it's not gonna be long, I feel, because I feel you're gonna change very fast. You're so skilled at building these towers now, castles, right? Because you've done it so much that I feel like you're very good at setting your emotions. Like, when you have this sorrow, when you are tired, you respect that about yourself because you respect your own boundaries, right? You're not overstepping your own boundaries. So Yeah, there might be a time of sorrow and grief and tiredness, and just accept that about yourself. Just give yourself love and compassion, and know that this tribe is coming in for you. You're just adjusting right now, and when you're done with that, the egg is gonna hatch, and they're gonna be there. Surprise! We've been waiting for you. We're so glad to see you. Right? Kind of this balanced energy here. It's time for you, I feel. And with this card, makes me feel like we see here the thawing again, right? The ice melting and the flowers coming up. I feel like it's really time for you to find that inner balance. Like you've been so good at, like the last couple of years, maybe your whole life, trying to find balance, but from wherever you're close, that door you're closing right now, there's a new kind of balance here to figure out, who am I when I'm not in that energy, or not a match to that kind of person or that kind of work or that environment or whatever it is, right? Yeah, and that adjusting period is just going within, listening to music, meditations, doing healing practices, being in nature, eat healthy, good food for your body. It's okay if you want to eat ice cream as well. I'm not, no shame. Like, do whatever feels right for you. If you want to Netflix all day, eating chips and candy, whatever, that's your inner child who really needs that, right? Then you should honor that. You should honor that. So there's really a time now for you just being you, finding that balance, finding that willpower again, with this closure here. And even though we did the closure in the physical world, right, we walked away from a relationship, it takes time to close that thing inside of us, because we're saying goodbye to something, right? It takes time. That's what you're doing right now. But I gotta say, on the other side of that looks really great. But because we got this guy on one side and the tribe on the other side, kind of hugging you, right? And you kind of here in the middle, being balanced. Yeah. And also he could represent you, your masculine balanced side of emotions, because cup represents emotions, right? Sitting strong at who you are. Yes, that's great, you guys. So pile number 4, that's what I had for you. If it resonated, please give the video a thumbs up. Appreciate it if you want to donate. There is information in the box below. Until next time, take care. Bye.